Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Joe Cannon Stadium. I'm Rob Static. Alongside me is Connor Newcomb, and we're just about ready to start baseball here. Field maintenance still going underway. We're going to announce the starting lineups now, so we're going to turn you over to Billy Goheen, the public address announcer, and he's going to have those for you.
And now, the starting lineup for the visiting Alexandria Aces. Manager of the Aces, David De Silva, assisted by Chris Bursett. Batting first, shortstop from Eastern Michigan University, number 10, Max Schumann. Batting second, second baseman from Western Kentucky, number 4, Ray Zuberer. Batting third, left fielder from the University of Houston, number 9, Nick Slaughter. Batting fourth, the first baseman from Lipscomb University, number 20, Ethan Cady. Batting fifth, the third baseman from Morehead State University, number 7, Eli Bogus. Batting sixth, right fielder from Wofford College, number 24, Mac Nathanson. Batting seventh, the designated hitter from Northern Illinois University, number 36, Cam Smith. Batting eighth, center fielder from James Madison University, number 14, Devon Griffin. Batting ninth, the catcher from Austin P, number 39, David Martinez. Starting pitcher for the Alexandria Aces from Wofford College, number 35, Chris Sheehan. And now, the starting lineup for your Baltimore Dodgers. Managed by number 4, Derek Brown. Assisted by number 5, Juan Waters. And pitching coach of the Dodgers, number 52, Ed Chestnut. Batting first, second baseman from New Mexico State University, number 1, Joey Ortiz. Batting second, right fielder from New Mexico State University, number 13, David Bellamy. Batting third, the designated hitter from the University of California, Berkeley, number 2, Brandon McElwain. Batting fourth, the first baseman from Creighton University, number 24, Shane Coker. Batting fifth, the shortstop from the State College of Florida, number 12, Austin James. Batting sixth, center fielder from the State College of Florida, number 30, Jaron Shelby. Batting seventh, third baseman from Wake Forest University, number 19, Zach Seal. Batting eighth, the catcher from Eastern Michigan University, number 9, Alex Walansky. And batting ninth, left fielder from LaSalle University, number 15, Brian Tago. The starting pitcher for your Baltimore Dodgers from Southeastern University, number 41, Casey Gast. The Dodgers have made a substitution. Batting seventh, third baseman number 10 from High Point University, Paul DePino.
All right, back with you here at Joe Cannon Stadium after the starting lineups announced. We're just about ready for play. Baltimore Dodgers coming in off of a loss to the Redbirds in a game played at Carlo Crispino Stadium. That was a home game for the Baltimore Dodgers. And Connor, it was a good game all around. The Dodgers offense, however, maybe, struggled just a little bit, as we've seen throughout this season.
Yeah, 2 runs in the 5th inning, and really both were unearned. They had to get a lot of help to get those 2 runs. Would have been out of the inning. Brandon McElwain with a runner on second and 2 down, hit a ball to third base. It was booted by the Redbirds' third baseman, kept the inning alive, and then back-to-back singles by Baltimore by Shane Coker and Austin James in the 4-5 hole. Gave the Dodgers the lead, so really almost didn't deserve to get those 2 runs, but they did jump on the opportunity, getting one more chance in the 5th, but really that was it for the offense. Couldn't get much going in the 4 innings before and the 4 innings after. Really, they scored those 2 runs in the 5th, and that was the difference. I mean, the pitching held the Redbirds for most of the game. I mean, 2 runs through 9 innings. That's a pretty good job by your starter, Mark Michael, and the bullpen, Edwin Lopez and Alex Quas. But, at some point you're going to give up the run, and especially the Dodgers looking in that 8th, 9th, and 10th innings. I mean, they weren't putting up much of a fight offensively, so it looked like at some point the Redbirds were going to score, and they did in the 10th.
Yeah, Jaron Shelby actually put a charge into the baseball for the last out of the game, flew out to the warning track out and right, maybe a little bit lower launch angle, and we're talking about a Dodger walk-off victory in the bottom of the 10th, which like you said, not a whole lot of base runners at that point in time. It took a hit by pitch and then that long fly ball out to right. Dodgers take on an Alexandria Aces team who come into the game 21-5, the top team in the Cal Ripken League and one of the top teams in the nation.
Yeah, the Alexandria Aces ranked 7th overall among collegiate summer teams so far this year. As you said, 21-5. Little top 30 ranking put out. The only other Cal Ripken League team, it's a Bethesda Big Train, a little bit lower down that list. You usually see a team like the Redbirds hop on there, but they've been a little bit down this season. They are 17-11, obviously first place in the North Division, but they're not really playing to the level that the Big Train and the Aces are right now. And the Aces not really coming out of nowhere, but a surprising team to be leading that South Division that, we're used to seeing in the Cal Ripken League. Redbirds, Big Train in the final series, but the Aces have the best record in the league, and they've been able to beat the Redbirds and the Big Train, and they've been able to beat the Dodgers as well, 3-0 against Baltimore so far this season. The Dodgers' final chance to get the Aces, and they've played 3 pretty close games.
Yeah, like you said, the Dodgers seem to play the top teams in the league the best. They are 2-2 against the Redbirds, 2-0 against the Big Train, and like you said, against the Aces, a couple close games, but unfortunately coming off on the bottom end of things, on the losing end of things. The Dodgers are going to send out left-hander Casey Gast. His last start was the homecoming game at Johns Hopkins University. I got a chance to talk with him before today's game, and he's in high spirits, and really, he's a really loose guy. We've seen him behind the cameras when we do our pregame stuff. The guy he likes to get out there and have fun. So hopefully he'll be able to come in and continue that on the mound and just continue to have fun as we are ready for the national anthem. Let's send it back to Billy Goheen.
In honoring America and celebrating our freedom and those that protect it, both here and away. Please stand, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad sides and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of free and the hope of the brave.
And Connor Newcomb back in here with Rob Stadnick, as we're just about set to go in this game between the Baltimore Dodgers and the Alexandria Aces, and we talked about Casey Gast. He will be the starting pitcher for the Dodgers in this game. Gast this season will make his 5th start of the year as he takes the mound right now to throw his warm-up pitches to the catcher, Alex Wilansky. Gast in those 4 starts has pitched 24 and a third innings, giving up 27 hits. He struck out 14 and walked 8, posted an ERA of 3.32. However, the batting average against up at 278. He's given up a lot of hits on the year, but has really been able to work himself out of a lot of situations that have given him more success, at least as far as the ERA goes. Gast's last appearance, as we talked about, came on Saturday at Johns Hopkins University, that homecoming doubleheader for the Dodgers. Gast pitched game 1. He went through 6 innings pretty easily, giving up just 2 runs. Came back out for the 7th in what was the final inning of a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games, minor league rules there on the doubleheader. And well, he gave up a single and a double to start the inning, and that was it for him. Connor Grove would come into the game, give up a ground out and a single, so those 2 runs would score, get charged to Gast. He would end up going 6+, giving up the 4 earned runs. But Connor Grove did the rest of his job correctly, got out of it, and the Dodgers won it 5-4. So they got a W last time Gast was on the mound, and now they'll look for another win here, Rob, as what looked like it could be a big stretch for the Dodgers to get some big wins. They had the Big Train, then the Redbirds, then the Aces. Well, the Big Train game got rained out. They'll play 2 on Wednesday down in Bethesda, and then Redbirds hung with them like they've done every time this season, just couldn't come out with the win. So now they get to play the team that's really been the best in the Cal Ripken League so far this season.
Yeah, as you said, this looked like a murderer's row, coming up 3 straight games against the top 3 teams in the league. Teams, though, that we said the team has played very well against. 2-0 against the Big Train, scored 20 runs, 10 in each game. We were really kind of feeling this was going to be a make-or-break kind of stretch here. Kind of feels with that rain out, maybe it's not so much the case, but a win here after that loss yesterday could do huge things for the Dodgers.
So Max Schumann will be the leadoff hitter, the shortstop for the Aces, as he steps into the right-handed batter's box, and Casey Gast toes the rubber. Gast, as he always does, works from the stretch, even with no runners on. And the first pitch of this game misses down and in for a ball. First pitch, 7:10 p.m. 85 degrees, a couple clouds in the air here at Joe Cannon Stadium, but pretty sunny. A beautiful day for baseball here. 1-0 pitch, fastball, grooved right down the middle, and the count evens up 1-1. Gast, as I talked about on the year, 3.32 ERA, but he has worked out of a lot of jams in his 4 starts so far. Looking for a little bit more of a clean start here. The 1-1, grounded up the middle, James over to his left, he's up with it. Throwing to first is in time, and 3 pitches for Gast gets him 1 out here in the top of the first inning, as Ray Zuber, the second baseman, will step in.
Yeah, and speaking with Casey Gast before today's game, he said he was a fan of the natural turf over the regular turf. We've talked to a few pitchers that like the artificial turf because it gives truer hops to the infielders. But Casey actually likes the fact that it'll slow the ground balls down and allow his players to make a few more plays.
So Ray Zuber steps in, finished up his freshman season at Western Kentucky, now playing his summer ball with the Aces. Lefty-on-lefty matchup, first pitch way outside, misses for ball 1. Gast will pitch not all the way over to the third base side of the rubber, but his foot's about halfway over there, so he is edged towards that third base side of the rubber, which is interesting for a lefty that kind of has a closed stance from the stretch. That pitch is fouled down the first baseline, and the count evens up 1-1.
Yeah, very similarly to Josh Hedgeka. He likes to come down. It's not quite 3/4. It's almost a sidearm action getting behind that left-handed hitter. You'd think he might want to, get a little bit even further behind that hitter to make it a little more difficult to pick up.
Now Gast set, and the 1-1. Grounded down the first baseline, but Coker's there. He was playing tight to the line, takes it to the bag himself, and 2 up, 2 down with 2 ground balls in the top of the first.
Yeah, doing a good job getting on top of his pitches, working down low, which is, again, something else he alluded to. Pitching here in this type of league, he's got to work around the knees. And just like you do pretty much at every level from here on up, you got to work down. Otherwise, you're going to have balls hit out. And he's done a good job of that here in the early going.
In steps the right-handed hitting Nick Slaughter. First pitch to him, swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there from Gast, and the count's now 0-1. Around the diamond for the Dodgers, well, you start at the hot corner. It was going to be Zach Seal. He was in the starting lineup, but a late scratch as Paul DePino takes over at the hot corner. Gast set, the 0-1. That's lined into left field, and that's a 2-out base hit for Nick Slaughter. Up with it in left field is Brian Tago. He's getting the start out there today for the Dodgers, and around the rest of the outfield, you got Jaron Shelby in center, as he always is, and then David Bellamy, who went 2 for 5 at the plate last night, threw out a runner at the plate that would have been the go-ahead run. He's back in right field. Back into the infield in front of him at first base, who's now holding the runner, is Shane Coker, who's got that 12-game hitting streak and is also playing great defense. Then, of course, up the middle, Joey Ortiz at second and Austin James at short. First pitch from Gast catches the outside corner for a strike to the first baseman, who hits left-handed Ethan Cady. Behind the plate for the Dodgers is Alex Wilansky, who just framed that pitch. He's part of that catcher rotation between Wilansky, Christopher, and Berg. Fastball fouled straight back, and the count is early 0-2 against Cady.
Yeah, good location there on that fastball. Maybe a little bit up, but didn't get a hole out of the plate. Cady fouling it straight back to the screen. So we'll see what Gast has in mind here on the 0-2.
Short lead for Slaughter. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good slider from Casey Gast. So he allows the 2-out single, but that's it here. 1 hit and no runs in the top of the first for the Alexandria Aces. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning, and the Dodgers will come up to bat. It's 0-0. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Rob Stadnick in the bottom of the first inning here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Casey Gast got a couple of ground balls, then after a 2-out knock, he got a strikeout to end the inning. And now the starter for the Aces takes the mound. It's the big right-hander, Chris Sheehan. Sheehan on the season making his 5th start, 6th appearance overall. And in 26 and a third innings pitched, he's allowed 33 hits, struck out 17, and walked just 5. It's worked to a 3.75 ERA on the season, and as it always is, Joey Ortiz will be the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers. He digs in to that right-handed batter's box. Sheehan works out of an almost full windup, and the first pitch to Ortiz, fastball right down the middle. That's a called strike 1 to the Dodgers' second baseman. Joey Ortiz coming into this game hitting .294 on the year, has dropped just below 300. Of course, I'm sure he's looking to get above that number as he grounds one up the middle, and that's into center field for a base hit. So that's going to help Ortiz get back above 300 as he's on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, good job going right back up the middle. A little high chopper, able to get it over the pitcher Sheehan's head. Not quite a Baltimore chop, but getting high enough to get over the 6'1 Sheehan out there on the mound.
And Sheehan kind of has the same problems as Casey Gast does. They both have ERAs below 4, which is kind of an easy number to look at and kind of grade a pitcher. And if you're below 4, you know you're doing a pretty serviceable job on the mound. But his batting average against is .311 on the season. So teams are hitting him hard. He seems to be getting out of jams. Now David Bellamy up, the New Mexico State teammate of Joey Ortiz, who has kind of fallen into the number 2 role in the lineup as he starts to get hot at the plate. And he takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Bellamy hitting from the left side, a little bit of an open stance. Sheehan set, checking Ortiz at first, who's got a sizable lead. And the fastball's in there as the count evens up 1-1.
Joey Ortiz 13 for 13 in the stolen base category. He'll probably be going at some point here. Never gets a really big lead. He's just that quick. He only gets a step or two over there at first base, so he doesn't get checked on too much.
Yeah, Ortiz stole 10 of 14 this season at New Mexico State as Bellamy lines one on 2 hops to second base, on to short for 1, back to first, in time double play. The Aces erase that leadoff base runner on the Joey Ortiz single as David Bellamy grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. That was Zuber to Schumann, back over to Katie, and there's 2 down.
And you kind of start to see why maybe that batting average is so high, except and why the batting average is so high and the earned run average maybe isn't. Because if you get a single and a double play and another out, that's a 333 batting average with no runs scored and nobody left on base.
So here's Brandon McElwain, the designated hitter today. He takes a fastball outside and in the dirt for ball 1. McElwain played a lot of right field so far this season, still getting over a little bit of an ankle injury, so he continues to be in the lineup as the designated hitter. Sheehan into his wind, now the 1-0. Fastball grounded on a couple of hops over to third base. Up with it is Bogus. Throw on to first is in time, and despite giving up a leadoff single to Joey Ortiz, a fairly quick inning for the Aces starter, Chris Sheehan, as the Dodgers get no runs on 1 hit, leave nobody on. We head to the second inning here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Dodgers and Aces are scoreless. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Rob Stadnick as we're set to go in the top of the second inning here between the Baltimore Dodgers and the Alexandria Aces. Aces come in at 21-5. They sit in first place in the Cal Ripken League South Division with the best record in the league. The Dodgers, however, 11-17, but still just 1 game back of the DC Grays for the final wild card spot in the playoffs. First pitch from Gass is a foul tip right off the mitt of Alex Wolanski. It will be strike 1. Eli Bogus is the hitter, the third baseman for the Aces. He made that final play in the bottom of the first to end the frame. A little bit of a foul ball situation as Wolanski goes to get the ball and toss it out of play as the count is 0-1. Gass gets ahead early.
Hey, what's the umpire doing back there? Isn't he supposed to be going to get those? Or the dugout at least.
Yeah, he's not doing much. Gass set the 0-1. That misses way inside, and the count evens up 1-1. Bogus will be a senior this coming spring at Moorhead State. Played in 55 games this season for Moorhead, and, well, he was pretty dominant at the plate. Hit .425 this season with a .487 on-base percentage, and I am not making that number up. He hit .425 at a Division I baseball school. Here's the 1-1. Fastball catches the outside corner, and the count's 1-2. And that average, if you're asking, yeah, that's the second best batting average in the nation among D1 players. So pretty big get for the Alexandria Aces this summer. Now Gass set, the 1-2, fastball misses outside, count evens at 2. Bogus' best game this season came against the UMass Minutemen. Had 6 hits in the game. Now Gass set, the 2-2. Fastball misses up and in, and the count goes full. But Bogus wasn't always at Moorhead State. That was actually his first season at Moorhead after 2 years at Lincoln Trail Community College in Illinois. Now the payoff pitch. It's popped high into the air over towards third base. The Newly minted third baseman Paul DePino coming in and makes the catch for out number 1. So he was hitting .425 in college, but he's 0 for 1 today as Casey Gass gets the out with a good breaking ball. There's one away as the right fielder Mac Nathanson will step in.
As you mentioned, Paul DePino just getting the start here late. We got word actually after the starting lineups were introduced that Paul DePino will be getting the game start over Zach Seal. He started in the game yesterday and had a bit of an adventure over there at third.
First pitch to Nathanson, fastball, just misses the outside corner, 4-1. Nathanson, another guy that'll be playing his senior year this coming spring. He plays his college ball at Wofford. Gass set with the 1-0, another fastball, pretty much the exact same spot. And again, it's called a ball, counts now 2-0. Nathanson had a solid season at Wofford in 240 plate appearances. He hit .254 with a .366 on-base percentage. 2-0, swing and a miss. Good healthy cut there, but right through the gassed fastball, and the count's 2-1.
And Nathanson sitting dead red there, obviously, but got a pitch above the letters and decided to chase it and did himself no favors.
And he's been a power hitter his whole college career. Now Gass coming with the 2-1, fastball in there at the knees, and the count evens up at 2. Nathanson this season at Wofford, 12 home runs. That led his team. He also had 44 RBIs, and he found the gap a couple times too, 14 doubles on the year. Gass set. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes full. Nathanson this season for the Aces in the summer, hitting .273. Hasn't really found the power yet. Still has not been able to leave the ballpark after 12 homers in his spring college season. And the payoff pitch from Gast. One hopped up to Wolanski, who comes up with it right in front of home plate and throws on to first to record the second out. A little bit of a weird bounce there. That ball may have hit right off the plate and then bounced high into the air, but Alex Wolanski all over it from behind the dish, pops out, makes the play, clears himself space to throw, sets his feet, and he recorded the out.
Good job recognizing that that is a fair ball. A lot of players, we've talked about this before, a lot of players think if it hits home plate, it's an automatic foul ball. It is not, and Wolanski making the play.
Now the designated hitter Cam Smith is up in a first pitch fastball. Misses just below the knees. That's going to be ball 1. Smith has already spent 1 year at Northern Illinois, but he redshirted. That was his freshman season. 1-0, he lines down the left field line, but that's going to go out of play. Well foul, as the count evens up 1-1. So Smith will try to get on the field this coming spring, as he will still have 4 years of eligibility left at Northern Illinois. Gass set. Here comes the 1-1. That's lined up the middle. James over, but he's not going to get there. Into center field. And another 2-out base knock against Casey Gast. The Aces have a runner on here in the second.
Hard hit ball back up the middle. Grass not able to slow that one down quite enough. I thought that James might have had a chance to get there. Unfortunately, not able to do so, and it does end up in center field for the second hit of the game.
Now in steps the Alexandria center fielder, Devon Griffin, who has really struggled at the plate this season so far for Alexandria. In 19 games, hitting just .190 at the plate. Gass will throw over to first, and sliding back in head first was Smith, but the throw was offline. Don't think you would have had a chance at him anyway. Good stop there by Coker to keep the ball in front.
Just one steal attempt, a successful steal attempt by Smith so far this season.
Throwing over again is Gast, a little bit closer there, but in safely is Smith.
We talked about yesterday, Shane Coker got a lot of attention by the Redbirds over at first base, somebody that doesn't run very much. Smith in the same boat, though he certainly has the athletic build.
And the pitch, grounded on 3 hops over to DePino. Nice backhanded scoop onto first in time for the out. So Gast allows another 2-out base runner with the single, but gets the next guy out to retire the side. No runs on 1 hit for Alexandria in the second. We'll head to the bottom half here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Score still knotted up at 0. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Connor Newcomb back here alongside Rob Stadnick. Ready to go. Bottom of the second inning here at Joe Cannon Stadium. The score between the Dodgers and the Aces tied at 0. The Aces with a 2-out single in each of the first 2 innings, but Casey Gast, the starting pitcher for Baltimore, able to retire the next hitter each time. The Dodgers, they got themselves a hit as well. A leadoff single from Joey Ortiz, but he was quickly erased on a double play grounded into by David Bellamy. So a 1-2-3 first inning for the starter Chris Sheehan, and he will face Shane Coker to start the second. First pitch fastball off the outside corner, misses for ball 1. Coker didn't get the All-Star nod for the Dodgers, but you can't really blame the league. I mean, he came in just a couple of weeks ago to Baltimore, so he hasn't really had a full season under his belt. And the 1-0 to Coker checks his swing, and the pitch missed off the plate, counts now 2-0. But Coker has been red hot since joining the Dodgers, hitting .340 on the season for Baltimore, and he's right in the middle of a 12-game hitting streak right now. He drove in one of the 2 Dodger runs last night in that 3-2 loss to the Redbirds. 2-0 fastball in the dirt, and the count's now 3-0. I think Chris Sheehan knows how well Shane Coker's been hitting because he's given him fastballs, but none of them have been in the zone.
Yeah, Shane Coker, very good eye at the plate. He actually walked in the only game that he has not gotten a hit, so he's reached base safely in every game he's played for the Dodgers this summer.
3-0 delivery, that's a fastball right there at the letters, and the count's now 3-1. Well, that ball looked like it was right in there at the letters until Shane Coker tossed his bat over to the dugout and a 4-pitch walk to lead off the second.
I was as shocked as you, to be completely honest. That was right down the middle. Guess that high strike is not going to be there today. As I saw Coker, I was like, really? I thought that was a strike. He starts tossing his bat, and he's down at first.
I mean, our angle up here is interesting. You can't get a great glance at high-low, but sure looked like it was a little up in the zone, but definitely in the zone as a fastball to Austin James misses inside for a ball. But nevertheless, 5 straight balls to start the inning for Chris Sheehan, and the Dodgers will gladly take that leadoff walk. So the on-base streak for Shane Coker becomes 14 consecutive games. Sheehan set, pitch to James. Another fastball misses in. That's 6 in a row out of the strike zone.
Be interested to see how many times they throw over to check on Coker as Martinez out to talk to his pitcher. Coker got a lot of attention. We mentioned it earlier last night. It was comical. It had me laughing by the time they were done with the at-bat to James, because James followed him last night as well. But they had to throw over 5 or 6 times. Every other pitch, it was thrown over to check on Coker.
It had to be funny for Shane as well. I mean, he knows he's not a big base stealer, but they were keeping a close eye on him over at first. As now, we talked about Shane Coker not getting the All-Star nod. A guy that did get the All-Star nod and get the most votes out of all shortstops in the Cal Ripken League is Austin James, set to start Monday's All-Star game, and he's in the box here ahead 2-0. That 2-0 pitch lined towards left field, going over his Slaughter, and it lands in front of him for a base hit. Coker, as we talked about, not a lot of speed. He stops at second, but a single there for Austin James. 2 on, nobody out for the Dodgers here in the second.
It'll be good to get Austin James going again. He had the other 12-game hitting streak for the Dodgers this summer, but since then he's been struggling just a little bit. I don't have the exact numbers, but going into yesterday's game, it was, I think, 5 hits since his hitting streak ended. So he's been struggling here as of late.
Here's a guy who's really been struggling the whole season. Jaron Shelby up, and the first pitch to him is a fastball lined into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Up with it is Slaughter. Coker's getting the wave. Now late stop sign, and he'll stay right there at third base. Maybe Jaron Shelby looking to break out of it as the bases are loaded here, full of Dodgers with nobody out.
Yeah, it's a good call there to stop him, as it was a late stop sign, as you said, by Derek Brown over third, but great throw in from the left fielder Slaughter. Hit his cutoff man, Bogus. And I'm pretty sure Coker would have been out by quite a few steps. With nobody out, you give Nick DePino a chance here to drive in the run.
So Zach Seal was in the start, but instead it's going to be Paul DePino. A late scratch was Seal, and DePino gets the start over at the hot corner. Sheehan working from the set with the bases loaded. First pitch, good breaking ball, swing and a miss by DePino. And he went first pitch fastball back-to-back, a fastball was hit into left field back-to-back by James and Shelby. And then going to the breaking ball, smart decision by Sheehan and his catcher behind the plate to get strike 1 against DePino. Sheehan set. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Another breaking ball. And the count's now 0-2. So Sheehan would like nothing more than a strikeout here with the bases loaded and nobody out.
A strikeout would be an absolutely huge turn of events here because just a ground ball could get them out of it.
Sheehan looking for a sign. Now he comes set at the belt. 0-2, fouled straight back off the press box, and the count stays 0-2.
Paul DePino, a prime candidate for a strikeout, as a matter of fact. 11 strikeouts on the season and 32 at-bats, so 1 out of every 3 of his at-bats roughly is a strikeout, so hopefully he can make sure he puts the ball in play here. The Aces are going to allow a run to score on a double play ball here, so they'll take 2 to give up 1.
It looks like the corner's in a little bit, but the middle infield still double play depth. 0-2 way outside. DePino takes it, and the count's now 1-2. Those infielders around the diamond, you got Bogus at third base, playing pretty even with the bag. Then Schumann at short and Zuber at second base. And Katie, who's just a step or 2 in front of the first base bag, over there at first. Sheehan set again, the 1-2. Breaking ball just misses, maybe a little above the letters, as it looks like the high strike call not going to be called tonight, and the count evens at 2.
Yeah, we saw a tight strike zone last night, left and right, over at Carlo Crispino Stadium, and tonight the up and down looks like belt is where you've got to throw it.
Sheehan set, the 2-2. Fastball up high, and the count's now 3-2 as the catcher Martinez will take a couple steps in front of home plate, maybe say a couple words to his pitcher, and get back behind the plate. So there's your infield. The outfield for the Aces, Slaughter out in left field, Griffin in center, and Nathanson in right, all playing pretty straight up right now in a big spacious outfield here at Joe Cannon Stadium. The center field fence 410 feet away. Payoff pitch, misses inside. That's ball 4. It's going to be an RBI walk for Paul DePino. He'll take it any way he can get it. And the Dodgers are on top. They lead it 1-0 here in the second.
After a couple quick strikes, a foul ball, and 4 consecutive wide ones from Sheehan, and DePino picks up his 4th run batted in on the season, doesn't have to put the ball in play, and that'll bring Alex Wolanski, a player that's, well, he's been improving his average. He's coming to the plate, his average just up over 100, but last time we saw him, it was down below that.
Yeah, so with Wolanski coming up, the bases still loaded with nobody out. It'll be a talk at the mound. Pitching coach, Chris Giblin out there. He's in his first season with the Aces. Also serves as the pitching coach at West Potomac High School. So he'll be out there to talk to his pitchers. Doesn't look like they'll make a change as the Aces don't really have any movement going down there in the bullpen down the right field line. Just like a long talk to maybe settle down his pitcher, Chris Sheehan. Sheehan has played 3 years so far. He'll be set up for his senior year in the spring at Wofford, a native of Boca Raton, Florida. In 13 appearances this season for Wofford, 6 of them were starts. In 38 1/3 innings, he had a 3.29 ERA and a 1.64 whip. Struck out 24 and walked just 10. But that was a walk right there he issued to DePino with the bases loaded. Got ahead of him 0-2 in the count and couldn't put him away after DePino fouled one off, 4 straight out of the strike zone to walk the run in. Now the first pitch to Wolanski hits him on the shoulder, and another free run for the Dodgers. They double the lead. It's 2-0 on the RBI hit by pitch. That'll go to Alex Wolanski.
Yeah, that's something we saw quite a bit last year. Connor, you weren't here, but Alex Wolanski got hit by a ton of pitches in his season last year. Was second on the team to Shane Coker, but only because Coker played most of the games and Wolanski was splitting time behind the plate as catcher. He had more hit by pitch per at bat.
So here's Brian Tago, the switch hitting left fielder, hitting from the left side, and finally finding the strike zone is Sheehan with a first pitch fastball on the outside part of the plate. Now Sheehan set again, and the 0-1. Now the fastball hits the inside corner, and the count's 0-2. Infield still the same way they've been all inning since the bases have been loaded for the Aces. Corners even with the bag, maybe a step in front, while the middle infield playing double play. 0-2 to Tago. Fastball misses below the knees, and the count's 1-2. Now Sheehan set. Tago wiggles the bat above his shoulder. 1-2. Fastball misses outside, and the count evens up at 2. Now the scoreboard says 3-1 on the count, but I'm almost certain those first 2 pitches to Tago were called strikes, but I guess we'll see on this pitch. Here it comes to Tago. Lines it into right field, down for a base hit. One run scores as Nathanson slips, and the second runner coming to the plate is DePino. A 2-run single for Brian Tago. 4-0 Dodgers as they continue to pour it on here in the second.
A nice hard hit ball. I guess the count doesn't matter at this point as Wolanski going first to third. 2 runners come home. It'll be interesting to see whether he's going to get 2 RBIs on that as Nathanson, you mentioned, slipped. It's kind of hard to take it away from him. You don't know whether or not they were going to go ahead and send the runner anyway. It's something you have to take a quick look at. 2 RBI or 2-run scoring single by Tago. I'm going to give him the RBIs, but we'll see what the official score says later.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Solid speed from DePino. Probably gets the send anyone's around to score. Now back to the top. Joey Ortiz swings right through a fastball. Got a slight piece of it to foul it off, and the count's 0-1.
Yeah, it looks like it got the home plate umpire, who's currently doubled over. Didn't feel too good, as now the trainer's going to come out to talk to him. Got the mask back from Ortiz, who picked it up, I think maybe on the shoulder, the left shoulder on that foul ball, and he's got to shake that off.
Yeah, so we have a quick delay here as the umpire kind of gets his wits about him after taking that foul ball from the bat of Joey Ortiz, who singled the bouncing ground ball up the middle to lead off the first inning for the Dodgers, but he was quickly erased as David Bellamy grounded into a double play. Ortiz came into the game hitting .294. He's got 1 homer and 16 RBIs, has a chance for at least number 17 with the runner Alex Wolanski standing on third and nobody out. Also got Brian Tago over there at first. After the 2 RBI single, the Dodgers, no outs in the inning. They've already put a 4 spot on the starting pitcher, Chris Sheehan. Sheehan's still in the game, but a lefty warming in the pen. First pitch, grounded softly towards second base. Up with it, Zuberer goes to second for 1, but that's all they're going to get. Good play to get the lead runner, but the run comes home. Wolanski crosses an RBI fielder's choice for Joey Ortiz. The Dodgers now have a 5-0 lead, but Alexandria finally gets their first out as David Bellamy now steps in for his second at-bat.
Yeah, over there at first base, Tago having to hold up a little bit, make sure that baseball doesn't hit him. So it allowed Zuberer to get that force out at second base, where normally if he were running full speed, he probably doesn't.
First pitch to Bellamy, pops it up in the infield. Ortiz was running, now he'll have to scramble back. The catch is made out in shallow left field by the shortstop Schumann, but Ortiz had enough speed where he was almost at second, slipped and fell, then got back up and made it back easily to the first base bag. So now 2 away as Brandon McElwain steps in. He's 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to third base to end the first inning. Set is Sheehan. First pitch to McElwain in the dirt. Good stop by Martinez. Counts now 1-0. Dodgers 5 runs across the plate here in this second inning. 5 runs on 4 hits so far. Got aided by a bases loaded walk and then a bases loaded hit by pitch for the first 2 runs. 1-0 as the runner goes, and McElwain sends one into the right center field gap. Nathans is not going to get it as it one hops the wall. Rounding third base and coming home to score easily is Joey Ortiz, an RBI double for Brandon McElwain. The Dodgers have 6 runs now in the second. They lead it 6-0.
And McElwain just going the other way with that one and driving it into the right center field gap. And Ortiz with good speed was running on the pitch. There's no way you're going to get him once it gets into that big gap out in right center.
So the lefty Shane Coker in. The Dodgers have now batted around. Coker led off this inning with a 4-pitch walk and later came around to score on the RBI walk that was drawn by Paul DePino. Sheehan comes set, then steps off the bat mound. He'll try to refocus here.
Pitcher warming up for the Aces is Dustin Lander. Sheehan's probably done here pretty soon.
First pitch to Coker. He finds the inside corner, and that's strike 1 with the fastball. So it all started with Coker and his walk, and Austin James and Jaron Shelby singled to load the bases. Paul DePino worked a 3-2 count walk to bring in the first run, and Alex Wolanski was hit by the very next pitch to bring in another. 0-1 misses down low as the count evens up. After that, Brian Tago finally got a hit to break things open, a 2 RBI single into right field, and then Joey Ortiz's fielder's choice followed it up with the 5th run. And after a pop out to short, Brandon McElwain, his RBI double to right center, made it 6. 1-1 grounded up the middle. The second baseman Zuberer going over, and it's under his glove into center field. Coming home and scoring easily is Brandon McElwain. The Dodgers won't stop hitting here in the second inning. It's 7-0 as McElwain crosses for the extra point. They'd already scored the touchdown here in the inning.
And that'll extend Shane Coker's hitting streak. The same inning he extends his streak for getting on base. He extends his hitting streak to a Dodger record 13. And Sheehan's not even going to let his pitcher come get the baseball. And he's actually going to get reamed out for it as he walks off the mound here. He started off the mound before his manager came and got the baseball. And he was not happy. Coach Da Silva not at all happy that his pitcher had just done that.
So Sheehan out of the game. We'll take a quick break here, and then we'll get you the new pitcher when we come back. But so far here in the second, 7 runs already for the Dodgers, all charged to Sheehan. And it's a 7-0 Dodger lead over the Aces. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Back here for Baltimore Dodgers baseball, Connor Newcomb alongside Rob Stadnick. In the bottom of the second inning, we've got a pitching change for the Alexandria Aces. The left-hander Dustin Lander is on the mound. He'll take over for Chris Sheehan, who lasted just an inning and 2/3. And the first pitch from Lander to James is bounced on 2 hops over to Bogus. He's up with it. Little crow hop, then the throw to first is in time. So Lander comes in, throws 1 pitch, and finally escapes this second inning. But the damage was done by the Dodgers. A touchdown and the extra point here in the second inning. They put a 7 spot on the Aces and lead it 7-0 as we're through 2 here at Joe Cannon Stadium. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Back here at Joe Cannon Stadium in this matchup between the Dodgers and the Aces. And the Dodgers, well, they had a pretty nice bottom of the second inning, I'd say. 7 runs off of the Aces starter, Chris Sheehan, and they chased him from the game. It was the lefty for the Aces, number 18, Dustin Lander, who came in and got 1 pitch to Austin James, got 1 out, and left the mound, with the score still 7-0. So Casey Gast back out there on the mound, and He finds a strike at the knees to the first batter, David Martinez, the backstop for the Aces. He'll be making his first plate appearance of the day. Gas set, the 0-1 comes way in on Martinez. He has to scoot out of the way, but it doesn't hit him, and the count evens up 1-1.
Yeah, this is the inning where you have to come up with a stop inning. You just scored 7. You need to crush their souls by going 1, 2, 3.
Gas in that staggered set. Here's the 1-1 to Martinez. Good breaking ball. Martinez swings right through it. It started right around the outside corner and broke to the inside part of the plate, and Martinez right through that pitch, and the count's now 1-2. Martinez finishing up his sophomore year at Austin Peay. Native of Port St. Lucie, Florida. 1-2 from Gast. Grounded softly towards third base. Cutting it off is DePino. Bobbles it. And reaching on the error by Paul DePino is the catcher David Martinez to start the third inning.
Yeah, we mentioned Paul DePino had a tough time over at third base making throws yesterday. Today unable to scoop that baseball and throw the slow-running catcher out at first base.
Yes, you talked about getting that shutdown inning, and Gast makes the pitch that should start him on his way to the shutdown inning, and his defense doesn't help him out. And the leadoff runner's on is back to the top of the order. Max Schumann, 0 for 1. He grounded out to shortstop to start the game. First pitch to him, lined foul down the left field line. Takes a bank off the fence and heads into the Dodger bullpen area.
Well, it looks like Brandon Hicks is the one that got the brunt of that. Luckily, took a bounce, hit the fence before it got to him, and it's probably not going to leave too much of a mark.
Well, they call him Beef out there, so I think he was ready to take that one. Gas set, checking Martinez at first, now delivers. Fastball misses up high as the count evens 1-1.
Gast been pretty efficient here. 24 pitches through 2 innings, and just 2 pitches to get that ground ball to third earlier.
Looking over at first. Now the 1-1 delivery, swing and a miss. Got the fastball by him on the outside part of the plate, and the count's now 1-2. Schumann at the plate out of Eastern Michigan. Has played 2 seasons there so far. And this year, in 138 at-bats in 53 games, he hit .246 with a .404 on-base percentage. 1-2 from Gast. Breaking ball misses outside as the count evens at 2.
I'd like to just be the umpire right now. Listen to the conversation between the 2 Eastern Michigan guys here, Alex Wolanski behind the plate and Schumann at the bat. I'm sure it's not too pleasant from Wolanski, giving him a little.
Gas steps off the back of the mound, and now Wolanski up, standing behind home plate. And good call there on the Eastern Michigan catcher and hitter right now, as I'm sure there's nothing but talk going back there, as you said. Throw over to first is not nearly in time, as David Martinez maybe had a lead of 2 steps off the bag, and he took those 2 steps pretty slowly to get back on the throw over, maybe just for Gas to kind of reset.
And Martinez, taunting Gast a little bit after that.
Now the 2-2. That's grounded towards third. DePino up with it. On to Ortiz for 1. Throw back to first, not in time. Good play by Coker there to get off the bag and keep the throw from getting by him. So it'll be a fielder's choice, and there's 1 away.
Yeah, that ball actually took a pretty tough hop on DePino, where it seemed to kick a little bit out to his glove side towards the hole. He actually made a great play to get that stop. It kind of looked routine, but it took a bad last-second hop. Made the catch, got the shore out at second base, unable to get the turn with the speedy leadoff hitter.
Now Gas getting a lefty-on-lefty matchup again here against Ray Zuberer. First pitch fastball misses outside, and that will be ball 1. Now Gas coming set on the third base side of the rubber, and he throws over. Back in plenty of time is Schumann.
Schumann a little more accomplished on the base paths than Martinez. 6 steals and 7 attempts. He has been caught once, and the Dodgers are good at catching runners.
Throw over again, and Schumann's back again. His college season went 9 for 13 at Eastern Michigan, and I'm sure Wolanski would like nothing more than to throw out his college teammate on the base paths.
Absolutely. I'm sure there wouldn't be any shortage of words being exchanged at that point.
1-0 is a fastball, misses below the knees, and the count's 2-0. Pretty sizable lead over there. Schumann, probably the biggest lead we've seen so far in this game over there at first base, as Maybe trying to tempt Wolanski, but I don't know if you're trying to steal any bases and possibly eliminate base runners trailing 7-0. 2-0 fastball right there on the outside part, and the count's now 2-1.
Obviously, still early in the game. This is a 9-inning ball game, but this is where you want to pitch to contact, make sure they put the ball in play, make them hit themselves out rather than nibble at the corners and walk guys.
Gas throws over again, a little bit closer there. Schumann dives back in head first, but he's in safe. Different move there from the left. He's got the one move where he picks the leg up, then steps towards first. That one, he stepped off the back of the mound with the left foot and just tossed it over, really didn't step and throw. Now set, looking over there at Schumann again, who's got another big lead. And time is called at the plate as Gas took too long to deliver, kind of staring down the base runner.
Yeah, good job there by Gast. One of the best ways to stop the running game is to alter your delivery times to the plate.
Gas set, 2-1, fastball line towards center field. That's going to drop in front of Shelby. Schumann, a little bit of a round on second base, but he'll stay right there. A base hit for Ray Zuber, and 2 on, 1 out here for the Aces.
Actually, I would have liked to see Shelby come in there and do a little Adam Jones for those of you who watch the Baltimore Orioles. He likes to come in on balls like that and put his glove up like he might catch it. It may cause the runner to just hesitate for a second where you could possibly get that force out at second base. I've done it too. It works much better in slow pitch softball, especially when you're playing with people that maybe aren't as good at the game. But, you know, sometimes you can catch that runner off guard a little bit.
So now the right-handed hitting Nick Slaughter in the 3-hole today for the Aces will step in. First pitch, grounded on 2 hops to Austin James at short, but he olays it and it gets under his glove. Coming home to score is Schumann as Zuber is over to third base and the Aces strike back for 1. It's a 7-1 ball game in the third as Austin James didn't put a great effort on that ground ball.
Yeah, Schumann actually stopped right in front of him. The idea was to obstruct the vision of James and maybe make him mess up, which is exactly what happened. Looks like they're going to award a hit to Slaughter there. But that play was made by Schumann as he hesitated right in front of James, and James, his vision was blocked and wasn't able to make a good play.
Now Gas set again with runners on the corner. First pitch breaking ball misses up high for a ball to the first baseman, Ethan Cady. Yeah, tough scoring there is really that looked like a double play ball, and James may have been shielded, but also really didn't get himself in front of the baseball just in case he did get shielded, and it got by him. 1-0 misses way outside, and maybe that play rattled Gast a little bit as he wasn't very close with these first 2 pitches to Cady, who he struck out swinging back in the first to end the inning, so 0 for 1 for the left-hander hitting first baseman. Cady just finishing up his freshman year at Lipscomb University. 2-0 fastball in the dirt. Good stop there by Wolanski, but the count is 3-0.
So yeah, after a 7-run inning in the bottom half of the second inning, the Dodgers give one back here with an error and then play at second base. Well, one, the runner shouldn't even have been on base. And difficult play by James, but something you want to at least knock down.
Gas set the 3-0. Fastball off the outside corner, and a 4-pitch walk loads the bases here with 1 out in the third. So you talked about at the beginning of the inning, when you score 7, you want nothing more than to put up a 0. Really give the other team, the Aces in this game, you don't want them to have any confidence after they give up 7. I mean, if you give up 7 runs, then you put up a 0, you're feeling like you can't come back at all. But now they've got 1 run already, and the base is juiced with just 1 out, and a big hitter in Eli Bogus at the plate. Now they're looking to cut into this lead significantly, if not put up a big inning just like the Dodgers did.
Yeah, just 1 hit away from putting a crooked number up there on the board. Casey Gast is going to have to, a walk away really, but Casey Gast is going to have to buckle down here and find out what's going to work against Bogus. As he popped out to third his last time. Another infield fly here would be great. A ground ball double play would be even better. But you got to get out of this inning allowing just the 1 run, because even though you don't get the 0, 1 is still at least somewhat, sufficient.
First pitch from Gast, fastball, and that missed above the letters for a ball. It looked like that same pitch that confused me to Shane Coker back in the bottom of the second, that 3-0 pitch that we thought was strike 1 but was called a ball, and that's ball 1 there with the bases loaded. Gas set quickly, the 1-0, that's a good fastball there on the outside corner, and the count evens up at 1. As you said, Gas looking for a ground ball, but even if there's a play where a run scores and an out is recorded, that's probably sufficient for the left-handed starter. Now the 1-1, grounded foul down the third baseline, and the count's now 1-2.
And Brandon Hicks getting out of the way of that one, making sure he doesn't get hit, and allows the rest of the bullpen to go ahead and take the brunt of that.
Gast looking in for his sign. Bogus at the plate. Now he comes set over on the third base side of the rubber. 1-2, fisted softly up the middle. James up with it, flipped to Ortiz for one, back to first, not in time. So the Dodgers get one out but can't turn two, and the run comes across the plate. An RBI fielder's choice for Eli Bogus, and it's 7-2.
That ball not hit nearly fast enough to get to there. The flip to second base, I was watching the second base umpire there. It looked to me like Ortiz came off the bag early. Little neighborhood play there. If we're talking Major League Baseball, he's probably safe on that. But luckily, none of that here. They do allow the neighborhood play.
First pitch to Mark Nathanson. Good curveball bearing down and in on him. He chased it and swings and misses for strike one. Nathanson 0 for 1 on the day. He hit that chopper back in the second inning that bounced right off home plate, and Alex Wilansky was all over it, picked it up, and threw him out easily at first base. 0-1, fastball lined into left field. Tego going back towards the track at the wall. It's off the wall. One run scores easily. Here comes the second runner, Bogus. He's being sent to the plate. Relay throw will be cut off by Austin James. A 2-run double for Mac Nathanson, and the Aces are right back in it. After the Dodgers strike for 7, they've already struck for 4 here in the top of the third.
Man, just a nightmare scenario for the Baltimore Dodgers as they get 7 runs in the bottom of the second inning. They come back, lead off the inning with an error, another misplayed ball at shortstop, double here. They can't seem to get out of their own way here as they score runs and they just give them right back. It's been an ongoing problem all season.
So now steps in the right-handed hitting DH Cam Smith with a runner on second and 2 down. First pitch lined towards left center field. Shelby going back, racing towards the warning track, reaches out, and he made the catch. What a play. Jaron Shelby takes away another run from the Aces and stops the bleeding here in the third inning. So after the Dodgers get 7, the Aces come back with 4. If you like runs, stay right here. The Dodgers lead at 7-4 here at Joe Cannon Stadium. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Back here at Joe Cannon Stadium, and do we have a good one for you here on this Saturday night? So far here at the Joe, the Dodgers struck for 7 in the bottom of the second, and the Aces came right back and got 4 in the top of the third. Jaron Shelby stepping in, swings through a fastball to start the inning. The left-hander, wearing number 18, Dustin Lander, still in for the Aces after coming in and throwing one pitch to get out of that 7-run second inning. Next pitch, fastball, that misses off the corner outside, and the count's 1-1. So the final line for the Aces starter, Chris Sheehan, he goes an inning and 2/3, gives up 6 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, walks 2, hits 1 batter, and does not strike out any. Fastball there to Shelby misses up high, and the count goes to 2-1. So So Shelby, we've been talking about how he's been struggling as of late, but he did get a single and come around to score in the second inning. Let's see if that can help him take off at the plate. 2-1, he pops it high into the air in shallow right field. Zuberer going back, Nathanson calls him off and makes a running catch. Quickly one away in the third.
Shelby reaching out for that one. Not the best swing on 2-1. Hit that off the end of the bat. Sounded like maybe his bat broke on that. And just a little weak pop-up out into shallow right field. So just more evidence that he might not be seeing the ball very well here this summer.
So in steps Paul DePino, who drew a walk to get himself an RBI, the first run in that 7-run second for the Dodgers, and he eventually would come around to score as well. But in the field so far, he made that crucial error that started off the 4-run third inning for the Aces. First pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. Good take from DePino. And the count's now 1-0 from Lander on the hill. Dustin Lander, redshirt freshman out of Charleston Southern, delivers the fastball that misses down low for a ball. So he was at Charleston Southern for a year, but redshirted his freshman season, so he still has 4 years of eligibility left. The left-hander, a native of Hookstown, Pennsylvania, attended Southside High School. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses off the corner, and the count's 3-0 to DePino. So it looks like because of that error in the top of the third, as here's the pitch, misses outside, and DePino draws himself another walk. He's been on base twice without a hit. As I was saying, because of that error to lead off the top of the third inning with the Aces at bat, and the very next at bat to Schumann, that was an out on the fielder's choice. Then there were back-to-back singles from the Aces, a walk, and then another fielder's choice. So that would have been 3 outs without a run scoring if there weren't the error. The error did occur, and looks like Casey Gass is going to kind of get out of this unscathed on his ERA at least. No earned runs in the 4-run inning for Alexandria is the official scoring so far. In steps Wolanski. First pitch to him. Fastball misses down low from Lander for a ball. Wolanski 0 for 0 on the day. No official at-bats. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. First pitch he saw in this game. Now Lander set. 1-0 fastball runs way outside. Good job by Martinez getting out of the crouch to make the catch, and the count's 2-0. Lander, as a lot of lefties do, comes set all the way over on that first base side of the rubber, gets a better look at the runner on first, and makes it more deceptive against left-handed hitters. Set right around his chest, checking first, and the 2-0. Fastball in there, right around the knees and on the outside corner. Perfect spot with that pitch, and the count's now 2-1. To be deceptive, Lander also kind of staggers his set with his right foot even closer to the first base bag than his left foot is, which is towing the rubber. And he throws over to first, but kind of a slow toss over there, back in plenty of time is DePino.
Yeah, Lander, a pitcher that struggles with his control. 8 walks in 9 innings pitched. Well, 9 and a third, or 2/3 now. Now 9 walks, 9 and 2/3. So Dodgers need to be patient and hopefully can get some base runners.
Lander set. The 2-1 to Wolanski. Fastball catches the outside corner, and the count's 2-2. Lander came into this appearance with an even 9.00 ERA. That's obviously gone down, or excuse me, an even 5.00 ERA, obviously gone down as he's already recorded 2 outs without giving up a run so far here. As you talked about, he struck out 12 and walked 8 so far this season for the Aces. Make that the 9th walk with DePino at first. 2-2 fastball way outside, and the count goes full 3-2. Lander's given up 5 earned runs on 9 hits in his 9 innings coming into this ball game. Opposing hitters 257 off of the lefty. Comes with that staggered set, looking over at first. Now the payoff pitch. Fastball misses way outside, and it's back-to-back walks as the Dodgers look to add on to this lead that was cut into in the third by the Aces. They've got 2 runners on with 1 out.
Yeah, this last couple pitches, not even close to Alex Wolanski, as he had gotten 2-2. Gotten to a 2-2 count, and then a couple wide ones just way off the outside. And Brian Tego trying to duplicate what he did earlier.
First pitch to Tego, fastball, misses above the oh, nope, that's going to be a strike.
Don't have that down yet.
Now he's got me all confused with the strike zone. It's a very late call from the home plate umpire. He takes his grand old time after the pitch gets in there to make a call. But that's strike one to Brian Tego. And the 0-1 lined into left field, base hit. Heading to third base is DePino. Now bobbled in left field, and DePino coming in to score. The Dodgers strike right back as advancing to second is Tego and third is Wolanski. They've now doubled up the aces again. It's 8-4.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Tego. Nice line drive out in the left. He is hitting the ball very well in the early going today. Don't think he's going to get credited with an RBI here as the boot from Slaughter out in left allows the runner to come in and also both runners to advance. Now second and third and just one away, and the Dodgers with an 8-4 lead.
Yeah, so that error out in left field should be what allows the runners to score. So no RBI for Tego, but either way, he drives in the run. And now Joey Ortiz up, and he takes a fastball at the knees for strike one. So Tego, his first at-bat, he hit from the left side, picked up a 2 RBI single. Then his next one hit from the right side and singled in another run. So he's brought in 3 runs with the bat so far today. That pitch in the dirt, great stop from Martinez. That pitch, I mean, wasn't even close to making it to home plate in the air, and he made a great stop to keep Alex Wolanski at third base. So the count's now 1-1 to the Dodger second baseman, who is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled up the middle to start this thing in the first, and then reached on an RBI fielder's choice back in the second, and eventually came around to score on the double to the gap by Brandon McIlwain. Lander set. Now the 1-1. Line foul down the right field line. Counts now 1-2. So the Aces infield pretty much in everywhere. Bogus at third, Schumann at short, and Katie at first. Although over at second base, Zuber a little bit further back. May just be he has a little bit more arm strength than the rest of his infielders. But now he's creeping in and coming pretty much even with the rest of them. 1-2 to Ortiz. Line foul right over top of the Dodgers dugout area. And the count is now still 1-2. Ortiz looking for a big hit here. Could drive in 2. Solid speed on second base in the form of Brian Tego, and could be helped by this infield in by the Aces if he can just plop one over their heads. Another 1-2. Fouled it off the end of the bat. Cued it off towards the Aces dugout, and the count stays right where it is at 1-2. Ortiz at a New Mexico State University. He's got his fellow Aggie David Bellamy waiting on deck. Both of them could have good RBI chances here in the bottom of the third inning. Dodgers leading at 8-4 over the Alexandria Aces. Lander set, another 1-2. Lined into right field, base hit. Wolanski in to score. Tego's getting the send. Here he comes. The throw to the plate is not in time. 2 RBI single for Joey Ortiz as the All-Star continues to hit. It's now 10-4. Roger that. The Dodgers have the lead.
Well, is this the kind of game it's going to be? Hit, 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 run, 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 run? Because it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's much better than some of the games that we've seen that have been grinds. Just kind of grinding. If this team can start hitting like this, look out playoffs. Look out everybody else, because we've been playing so well against the top teams in the league. If we can get into the playoffs hitting like this, they have a chance at making a run at this thing.
Now the lefty David Bellamy steps in. Lefty-on-lefty matchup with Lander versus Bellamy here. First pitch fastball. That'll miss off the inside corner, and the count's 1-0. Bellamy on the day, well, he's really the only guy who hasn't been hitting so far for the Dodgers today. 0 for 2. Grounded into that 4-6-3 double play in the first, and then popped out to the shortstop in the second. 1-0 pitch. Fastball grooved right down the middle as the count is even 1-1. Other guys like Wolanski and DePino, they don't have hits either, but they've both been on base both times they've been up. Bellamy, the only Dodger to not reach base yet today. Lander set, breaking ball, misses low and outside, and the count's 2-1. Bellamy came into this game hitting .267 on the season. No home runs, but he has driven in 9 runs. Struck out 15 times and walked just 6. Comes Lander's 2-1, fouled straight back by Bellamy, and the count evens up at 2-2. Still 1 out here in the inning at Joe Cannon Stadium. After a scoreless first and top of the second, the Dodgers came out and scored 7 runs in the bottom of the second. But striking right back were the Alexandria Aces. Put up a 4 spot to make it a 7-4 ball game. And now the Dodgers, well, they keep on scoring in the third, already 3 across to take a 10-4 lead. Lander set the 2-2. Fastball bounced up the middle. Up with it, Zuberer. The glove flip for 1. Back to first. In time, double play. So David Bellamy, for the second time today, grounds into a double play. And as I said, he's the only one who hasn't been on base yet. But the Dodgers add 3 more here in the third, and they lead it 10-4 over the Alexandria Aces here at Joe Cannon Stadium. We come back for the fourth, and the play-by-play duties over to Rob Stadnick. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball.
Welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. I'm Rob Stadnick alongside Connor Newcomb, who has, well, I think he's losing his voice with the number of hitters and hits that he's had to call in the early going. I'm actually thinking about turning over all the play-by-play duties to Connor because they seem to hit better when he's calling the plays. As a square to bunt here by Devon Griffin. The throw to first is scooped and a safe call over at first base. So interesting play, bunting for a hit down 6. I know Connor is probably pissed off. I don't think there's anything to throw out of the window here at the booth, but that's not a play that you would typically see, down 6 runs here. Now, leadoff single for Devon Griffin, though, as he's on first base.
To be honest with you, Rob, it's not one of the more infuriating bunts I've ever seen. You're down by 6. What do you need? Base runners. If you've got speed and you see the hole, lay it down. You know, I don't like bunting, but bunting for hits way better than sacrifice bunting.
And fastball is going to miss up just above the belt, as we've determined that's the top of the strike zone today, as David Martinez standing in. Martinez started a rally in the third inning, just last innings. He fouls one off here. He started that rally on a ground ball to third that ended up being misplayed by Paul DePino at third base. And the Aces turn around to score 4 runs in the inning. And this is another instance where, well, we need a shutdown inning. We just got all those runs back, and you've got to keep them off the scoreboard. As a throw over to check on Griffin, and he's back in safely. Gets dirty, didn't have to. No tag applied by Shane Coker. Griffin with a very interesting lead as another throw, and if the throw was on line, that would have been close, as it looked like Griffin was leaning a little bit toward second. He kind of takes a little stagger step. He's a little bit open, trying to face the pitcher instead of what you would normally see both feet in line. So a bit of an interesting lead here, not going as the fastball missing the outside corner. And 2 balls and 1 strike to count on the 9th-place hitter, the catcher David Martinez. Martinez was erased in that inning on the ground ball by Schumann, so he didn't get a chance to come home and score. Snap throw over to first base, and back safely is Griffin. Devon Griffin. Griffin has attempted 3 steals this season. He's 2 for 3. 2 steals and a caught stealing. 2-1 pitch. That's a breaking ball that catches a lot of the plate and is in there height-wise as well. As that's our question up here in the booth, is when are we going to get those, where those high pitches are. No, 2-2 the count and the delivery, and that's a fastball in, just missing the catcher. And very close to putting a couple of runners on with nobody out here after the Dodgers just getting 3 runs back after Gast surrendering 4 last inning. So with a 3-2 count here, be interesting to see if Griffin takes off. He's running, and a foul ball at the plate. Did not get a very good jump. It's a shame he fouled that one off because Dodgers, as we've mentioned many times, very good behind the plate at throwing runners out trying to steal. I'd love to see that graphic on the Cal Ripken League site. The caught stealing 4 for the defense. Unfortunately, they don't have it, so it would take quite a bit of legwork that, we just don't have the bodies. Slow ground ball to third. DePino up with it. Good throw over to first base. Nice play there by DePino as he came in, charged, gloved it, and threw it across the diamond. Also good job by the shortstop, James, and the catcher, Wilansky, covering third base so that Griffin couldn't round second and head to third.
A good play by DePino, really kind of trying to make up for that error that started the third inning. That was actually also Martinez at the plate when he committed that error. So Martinez hitting the ball to the same place so far in this game, but nice job by DePino to get that out. And let's see if Gas can work out of this and put up that shutdown inning.
And back to the Eastern Michigan teammate of Alex Wilansky, Max Schumann, standing in. And the first delivery will miss down and away. A breaking ball attempted by Gas, trying to go back door, missing the strike zone. And he'll come set and come home 1-0. That's a fastball. It's going to miss up. That one easy to call as Wilansky having to reach well above his head to make that play. At second base is Devon Griffin. He bunted to lead off the inning, reached second base on the ground ball out by Martinez. He's there with 1 away. And the inside move, nobody covering second base. Austin James didn't really feel like moving there. He kind of waved his hand. Yeah, I'm not covering. He has no lead, very little lead as far as second base leads go out there. There's a high pop into foul territory. Coker coming over near the fence. He takes a look, but he's going to run out of room as the ball ends up out of play. I don't know. He's pretty tall. Might have been able to climb that fence there and reach over. Maybe could have torn up an arm or something like that trying to climb that chain link fence over there. Saw Coker limping a little bit coming into the stadium today. I asked him about it. He said he found a new jump rope exercise he's been doing. So maybe if he keeps doing it, he'll get the hops to be able to get that breaking ball hit high into the air out behind the second base bag. Ortiz is going to call off James, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2.
Good pitch there from Gas. Uses a little off-speed breaking pitch there to fool Schumann, who gets way under it. And now he's 1 out away from the all-elusive shutdown inning.
Yeah, something that we mentioned again. It's been elusive. It's been extremely elusive and super important, especially with a 6-run lead here. It was 7. They allowed 4, and they got 3 back, so can't keep doing that because then they'll keep chipping away. But the 6-run lead here is a big lead in baseball, but a shutdown inning goes a long way to making it feel like a 10 to 15-run lead. So fastball is going to miss down and away to Ray Zuberer, who's now standing in. Zuberer singled last inning, and he came around to score as Casey Gast will come set. And again, turn and look at the runner at second base. That's a play that I almost feel if you do the inside move, you have to throw the baseball. Like you have to throw if you step to first. You can't just step to first and not throw the baseball. But you can do that at second. It's Casey Gast very preoccupied with Griffin at second base. This is a situation where I say focus on the runner. I don't care if he gets to third. He's going to score most likely on a base hit anyway. He shouldn't try and steal third. It's just a bad play. It's a fastball in there for a strike. There's really no reason for him to try and steal third. If you get the batter, he can't score. So focus on the hitter. Don't worry so much about the runner at second base with 2 outs here. And the delivery, a foul tip back to the screen off the glove of Wilansky. And he's going to go out and talk to his pitcher. I wonder if he's going to say something similar to what I've been talking about.
Yeah, it might be a little talk with Gast. I mean, a lot of attention being paid to the runner at second. You obviously would like to get a pickoff, and be an easier out. But with a 6-run lead and 2 down and 2 strikes in the inning, and a lefty-on-lefty matchup, I mean, everything kind of going gas way right here to just get the batter.
And he's going to try and do that here as he peers in for the sign from Alex Wilansky. Doesn't like the first couple, and doesn't like much of them as he steps off here and resets. Gets Wilansky to run through him one more time. As he comes set, looks back, and here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball hit high in the air out into right center field. That should be playable. Bellamy under it, calling off Shelby. And that's going to do it for the Aces as Bellamy makes the catch. They do get a runner on base with the leadoff bunt, but that's it. The Dodgers get that shutdown inning. They lead it by a score of 10-4. We're going to head to the bottom half. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Rob Stanek back with you at Joe Cannon Stadium here in Hanover, Maryland, alongside Connor Newcomb. Baltimore Dodgers leading the Alexandria Aces by a score of 10-4. We're here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Dodgers, would like to put some more runs on the board here if they can. And Brandon McElwain's going to lead things off to hopefully do that as he takes a fastball that catches the outside corner. Good frame job there by Martinez. And McElwain, one of the few players that hits from the front of the batter's box, swings and misses here. And he's down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Today's game, McElwain with an RBI double out in right center, and he grounded out to third back in the first. And here comes the 0-2. Goes with it again, a little looper out behind second base. Going out Zuber, he's going to turn around and make the catch going back. And that looked like it might have been trouble there for a second. Zuber didn't get the best jump, but he's able to get there and make the play.
Yeah, looked like it could have been one of those Bermuda Triangle plays where the second baseman goes back and center and right fielder come in and it drops in between them, but a nice play from Zuber to take charge and make the catch.
Shane Coker will stand in. Coker has extended his hit streak to 13 games, which is a Dodger record. Takes a fastball in the inside corner. He's also extended his reached base streak to 14 games. And, well, he's played 14 games this season, so impressive summer for Coker so far. It's unfortunate he hasn't been here the entire time as a check swing roller towards short. And, wow, he could have hit a home run with that check swing as he is thrown out by Schumann. As it was a 2-hopper to short on the check swing. So he got the barrel of the bat to the ball, but just didn't follow through with the swing. As Jaron Shelby, Austin James will come to the plate.
Correction. At the plate, number 12, Austin James.
As James fouls one back into the screen. And it falls down into the bleachers here at Joe Cannon, the loud metal bleachers. A couple dogs out behind the center field fence. Let's see if they can chase that ball as it's hit high into center. They're not going to because, well, it's not going to go over the fence. It's right there is Griffin. He makes the catch, and the Dodgers go down in order. I told you, we got to let Connor call more of these innings because they just do not seem to want to hit for me. And that's going to do it for the Dodgers. we're through 4. Dodgers lead 10-4. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Rob Stadnick alongside Connor Newcomb. We're back at Joe Cannon Stadium where the Baltimore Dodgers have a 10-4 lead over the Alexandria Aces. And they want to keep it right there as the heart of the order comes to the plate for the Aces as Nick Slaughter stands in. He's singled twice off of Casey Gast here today. He takes a fastball that'll just miss the inside corner. Both singles hard hit into left. The second one was because of some obstruction run by Max Schumann as the 1-0 in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. I think the scoreboard is mistaken. We've got a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the scoreboard. Home plate umpire, as Connor mentioned, very deliberate in his calls. So sometimes maybe not. You think it's a strike and he's not going to call it a strike. So you don't really realize it. 3-0 pitch, as the scoreboard is now correct. And 4-pitch walk to lead off the inning. And Slaughter will reach base for the 3rd time today.
That's not how to start an inning for Casey Gast. I mean, that's 4 out of the strike zone. He's going to have to look to work back here. It's not the shutdown inning now, as the Dodgers didn't score in the 4th, but you always want to put up zeros.
Yeah, it's the 3rd straight inning for the Aces that the leadoff runner has reached, and a wide one here and 5 in a row. This one to Ethan Cady. And out to talk is Alex Wilansky. He's going to go over some things with his young pitcher. I mean, I say young pitcher. They're both about the same age, so he's not young to him. He's young to me. But needing to do some things, maybe something Alex saw in mechanics that is causing Gas to miss here and not hit his spots. So hopefully they've figured this out as a lefty-lefty matchup. And Cady awaits the next delivery, and that's in the dirt, and that one was well outside. Looks like John Sikowski warming up for the Dodgers down in the bullpen. He might just be throwing, because right now it looks like he's throwing to another pitcher. That's Ed Lopez being his catcher right now. The 2-0 is going to miss high. 3 balls and no strikes. That is 7 in a row by Casey Gast. And he's going to have to start to buckle down here. Is having a bit of difficulty finding the strike zone. 3-ball, no strike pitch. That one's right there. That's the pitch we're looking for. And again, I said it earlier when Connor was doing the play-by-play. Got to make the hitters beat you. You can't beat yourselves by putting runners on base. And he's done that once already and in danger of doing it 2 consecutive batters. Sikowski still throwing from the front of the mound, so not exactly close to being warm, as now he's going to step up top. High pop-up behind home plate. Wilansky coming back, and that's going to land on top of the roof. As we're looking straight down here to see if Wilansky made the catch and then heard it land on top of our heads. A lot of Alexandria players down in their bullpen, typically down the right field line. A lot of the players don't congregate there. They usually hang out in the dugout. As a fastball missing the outside corner on the 3-2 pitch, and 2 consecutive walks have runners at first and second with nobody out. And Eli Bogus coming to the plate.
You talked about the bullpen down there. It's probably a little different considering the starting pitcher for your team goes only an inning and 2/3, gives up 7 runs. You probably need a couple more bodies down there than usual early in the game.
So now Shamoy Christopher, the bullpen catcher. So Sikowski getting close to being ready. And the Dodgers may need him here as Bogus fouls one off here. No balls and a strike to him as the baseball comes in from the first base coaching box. The gentleman walking his dogs is finding these baseballs and throwing them back into the field of play. We've got enough. It's okay. They can stay there. As the 0-1 has popped up into foul territory, Shane Coker looks like he's got a beat on it. He does, and that's out number 1. So that's more like it for Casey. As he gets a little foul pop-up, Shane Coker makes the play, and we've got 1 away.
Yeah, that's definitely more like it for Casey Gast. He makes another good pitch, kind of jams the hitter Bogus, and gets him to pop up into foul territory. Now if he can just roll himself a little ground ball, Mac Nathanson, not great speed at the plate, could possibly get out of this inning.
And that would just be music to our ears and a sight for sore eyes and all the other cliches that you can come up with. As Casey Gast delivers to Mac Nathanson. Hard line drive out into right center field. That is not what we were looking for. Is coming around from second base to score is Nick Slaughter. Going to third on the RBI base hit by Mac Nathanson is Ethan Katie, and they cut into that lead. It is now 10-5.
Yeah, good piece of hitting from Nathanson. Gets a fastball right down the middle pretty much from Gast and just deposits it into right center field. No real play coming from center for Shelby as Slaughter was off on the pitch and rounding. And now Derek Brown coming to the mound. Let's see if that ends the day for Casey Gast.
And that will, as Sikowski's almost to the mound already. Casey Gast exiting after 4 1/3 innings. He surrenders 5 runs. Only 1 so far is earned, but the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. We'll talk about John Sikowski when we come back. This is Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. Rob Stadnick alongside Connor Newcomb as the Dodgers in a bit of trouble here. Hold a 5-run lead, 10-5. Cam Smith will come to the plate. And he's going to face off against the new Dodger pitcher, John Sikowski. Sikowski's kind of been the best reliever that the Dodgers have thrown out there. He has 1 start this season. It didn't go so well. Kind of inflated the ERA, but coming out of the pen in tight spots, he's been very good as a breaking ball here. It's going to miss the outside corner, but just barely to the designated hitter. for the Alexandria Aces. Cam Smith singled up the middle his first time and hit the ball deep out into center. Sikowski missing again. 2 balls and no strikes. Deep out to center to Shelby, who made a nice running catch going back to retire the side back in that big inning, that big third inning for the Aces. That's a fastball that's going to catch a lot of the plate and be right in there by Sikowski. 2 balls and a strike to Cam Smith, looking to pick up that runner from third base and cut into this Dodger lead a little more. Dodgers scored 7 in the second. Aces answered back with 4. Runner goes, and a hit and run attempt as Smith doing a good job just to get his bat on the ball. Good pitch by Sikowski for a hit and run as the ball was a slider that ran off the plate outside. But just continuing the recap, 4 in the top of the third inning by the Aces, and then the Dodgers responded with 3 more. The Aces with 1 here already in the 5th and threatening to score again. As Sikowski will come set, check the runner, and he'll come home. Hard line drive out and to right. Bellamy is right there. He's going to make the catch. Runner's going to tag from third. Here comes the throw. Coker is going to cut it off. And the run's going to come in to score. Sacrifice fly by Cam Smith. And the Dodgers lead is now cut to 10-6.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible result for the first batter Sikowski faces. You got a big enough lead where you can trade a run for an out, and he does that right there, and also keeps that trail runner at first base, which is important as well, keeping him out of scoring position, giving Sikowski a good chance to get out of this inning right here with just the 2 runs on the board.
Devon Griffin will stand in. Last time he was up, he dropped down a bunt. Runner goes. Throw down to second base is low, and it gets into center field. And over to third base is Mac Nathanson. So he goes on the E2. He gets a stolen base and reaches third on the error. Unfortunate, too, because that throw was there in plenty of time. If it has enough juice on it to get there to Ortiz in the air, we're talking about 3 outs. So we know the Dodgers catchers have very good arms. Fastball, that one's going to miss. The first one missing as well. 2 balls and no strikes. They're having some problems on the scoreboard. I didn't actually see the call. I was just trying to go off the scoreboard. They only have 1 pitch up there right now. So that fastball is going to miss. So at least 2 balls, possibly 3, might be 2 and 1. I missed the call by the umpire because I was watching the play down at second base. The 2-something. It's in there for a strike. That brings the count to 2 and something else. Or 3 and 1. I'm a little confused right now.
Welcome to your vague call of the count by Rob Stadnick.
And the delivery, that's going to miss high. That was a 3 and 1 count, clearly, as that pitch will send Griffin down to first base.
Yeah, I can't say I was of any help, Rob. So, you know what? It's not really on you on that one. Been a little messy with the scoreboard down there. We try not to rely on the scoreboard just in case they are a little messy, but sometimes it just happens with so much going on. And been a little off on a couple pitches today, but John Sikowski's going to need to be a little on right now. He needs to get David Martinez here and get out of this inning, keeping the score 10-6.
Yeah, Martinez with a couple of ground balls to third. Could use another one right here. Runner first base, Griffin. He may be trying to go, which I wouldn't recommend, as a fastball is going to miss up high, and Sikowski having trouble finding the strike zone as well. So this tight hitter strike zone has kind of resulted in a lot of runs, but a lot of trouble for pitching. Runner goes. Throw down to second base is low again, but in time to get the out as the Baltimore Dodgers get out of the inning on a throw out on a caught stealing. Alice Wilansky getting the runner and gets them out of a jam. The Dodgers give up a pair, but they still hold a 4-run lead as we head to the bottom half of the 5th. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Rob Stadnick alongside Connor Newcomb here at Joe Cannon Stadium with the Baltimore Dodgers with a 10-6 lead. It's like a precarious 4-run lead. You know, usually you like to relax, but it's one of those things where you feel like the Aces are kind of on the cusp. They're going to keep getting some runs, and the pitching's really going to have to start buckling down. As we've seen 2 crooked numbers put on the board by the Aces, 2 from the Dodgers as well. Luckily, the Dodgers have had bigger ones. As the breaking ball to David Martinez leading off this inning is in there for a strike. Sikowski working out of the set, and a chopper that ends up foul.
Yeah, Rob, there's a reason that the Alexandria Aces are in first place in that South Division over the Bethesda Big Train, the reigning champion Bethesda Big Train, and also sit at 21-5 with the best record in the league. I mean, they've gotten a lot of big leads, but they've also got some comeback in them.
The 0-2 breaking ball right there for strike 3, and Martinez goes down on strikes. That's his 9th strikeout of the season, the first of the game for Sikowski. And that's how you want to start it. Not like they started the last inning, the last couple innings. You want to start it with that strikeout, get that out early, and just get the confidence to start rolling from there as Max Schumann will come to the plate. Schumann in his 27th game with the Alexandria Aces. 36 for 105 coming in. He's not recorded a hit here today. He's reached base on a fielder's choice and takes one in there for a strike. The leadoff hitter for the Aces.
Sikowski really working the slider well, the front door pitch so far.
Another slider. That one's going to miss outside. Sikowski, another one of those pitchers. We talked about Gast. That kind of comes like a modified sidearm. So he comes down from a little wide. So right-handed hitters are going to have a bit of difficulty with him. He works from the middle of the rubber, and he'll come home with the 1-1. That's a breaking ball that's going to get in there as well. So Sikowski really, really working that slider, as you said. I saw Schumann right there took a step out and was just kind of like talking to himself about keeping that front shoulder in and staying on that. You can kind of see with his body language that's what he's thinking as he's seeing all these sliders. We'll see if Sikowski wants to come in here with a fastball, maybe on the inside half. The set. Sikowski looking in, coming in. Fastball inside half, ground ball to third. DePino up with it. His throw across the diamond is in time to get the out. Nice throw there by DePino to retire Schumann. Schumann's got some pretty good speed going down that line. Now Schumann 0 for 4 and 2 away here in the top half of the 6th inning. And we'll see if we can get that 1-2-3 inning that we really, really need for the Baltimore Dodgers.
Yeah, good job so far by Sikowski in this inning. As I talked about that front door slider, David Martinez, the first batter, looked very uncomfortable trying to hit that slider. Didn't want any part of it as he struck out. And then Schumann stayed in there a little better, but didn't get a good result.
As Ray Zuberer will stand in and take the first delivery in there for a strike. So maybe calming down a little bit is Sikowski, starting to find that strike zone that we're so used to seeing him find, as he was struggled with control early when he came in. The 0-1, the swing and a miss. And ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Ray Zuberer. Zuberer grounded out, flown out, and he singled. The only thing left is a strikeout. Right? I mean,
he's also got quite a name. Sounds like it should just end after Ray Zuber. But no.
True.
There's another ER.
Zuberer. 0-2. That's a good waist pitch there. It looked like maybe a changeup that missed down and away, but that's where you want to miss with it if you're going to throw it. Zuberer hitting out of the left side batter's box. As Sikowski comes set and looks to finish this inning off. 1-2. Fastball fouled away over towards the parking lot. Nothing. No sound, no nothing, so everybody's safe. No insurance companies need to be called.
I don't get as worried as Joey White does up here in the box when anything gets anywhere close to what could be his car in the parking lot.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, just missing. Good pitch there. An even better take by Zuberer, as that breaking ball looked like it cut across the plate. Maybe it was stayed a little low. Definitely it worked its way inside, but a good job not to take the bait by Zuberer. Another breaking ball hit high into the air, out and to right. That's going to end up out of play. over by that bullpen of the Alexandria Aces, which honestly, I'm not really sure what it looks like right now. Everybody's just standing up. They're playing a little flip game. I don't even know what that's called. I played a similar game when I was in high school, but it didn't involve everybody having a baseball in their hand. But that's what they're doing today. I guess they're staying loose in some form or fashion. 2-2. Looped down the left field line. That's going to get down foul as well. I don't know. For me, when I played, I always like to be there and be into the game and watch the game. You wonder, obviously a team's 21-5. They're doing something. Obviously what they're doing is working. For me, I always like to focus on the game and watch the game. That way, if I have to come in, I understand the responsibilities that I have and what's going on. But clearly, they're just very happy-go-lucky and just playing their game down the right field line. So we'll see if that works for them. Hopefully it works to the Dodgers' advantage, or maybe they're just a little too nonchalant in the remainder of this ball game. As now a 2-2 count remains on Ray Zuberer. Sikowski trying to go 1-2-3. Would be the first 1-2 inning for the Dodgers. Another good take by Zuberer is that breaking ball going towards the back foot. And Zuberer didn't even look like he was tempted to offer. So now 3-2. Here's the pitch. And that's a fastball that's going to miss. And down to first base with the walk is Zuberer. And the Aces have a runner on base. And Nick Slaughter coming to the plate.
He talked about the Aces down there in the bullpen, just getting back to that a little bit. I mean, they're obviously going to make the playoffs, but they still, have just that what looks like to be, I think, a game lead, maybe a game and a half over the Bethesda Big Train right now. Might be a half game. I'm not very good at this math I got on my standings going on right now. They've played 3 fewer games in the Big Train, so it's a little difficult. So they're still playing for something in the South Division, but from the Aces broadcasters today, I got this piece of information with still a nice little chunk left in the season. The Aces' magic number to make the playoffs is 3.
That's not very many. Hopefully they don't get one here. The first delivery was a breaking ball in there for a strike, and Sikowski delivers a fastball that misses. So it'll even the count at a ball and a strike to Nick Slaughter. Slaughter's been on base twice and scored twice. He's been on base all 3 times, and scored twice. He singled back in the first. And he hits one hard and deep out to left. Going back is Tego. He's not going to get it. That's going to one-hop off the fence. Tego gets it in, throws it in towards second base. And at least he got it in quick enough to hold Zuberer at third. A 2-out double puts runners at second and third with 2 away. And the number 4 hitter, Ethan Cody, coming to the plate.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting from Slaughter, but despite Tego throwing the ball into second instead of the cutoff man, he did a nice job getting back to the wall, letting it drop over his head, reading it off the fence, and then quickly getting it in. And most importantly, keeping that runner at third base so Sikowski has a chance to get out of it and post a scoreless frame in the 6th.
So Cody, a couple of walks and a strikeout. As Sikowski's going to ask for his catcher Wilansky to come out and talk to them. Dodgers have a lefty warming in the bullpen. And that is A.J. Korzinski. Name escaped me for just a second, thanks to Billy Goheen for whispering that to me. I don't know if anybody heard it, but I knew A.J., and for whatever reason I couldn't think of the last name. But A.J. Korzinski warming up for the Dodgers.
To be honest, Rob, in my book where I have the available bullpen arms written down, I have everyone's last name except for AJ's. I just have him in there as AJ. No use in taking up that much space with that many letters.
You get a hand cramp. The first delivery hit high into the air, deep out to right field. But Bellamy looks like he's going to make the play, and he does. So a couple of hard-hit balls, a double, but a fly out to right, and that's going to do it for the Aces here in the 6th, and that's going to do it for my play-by-play responsibilities for these 3 innings. No, it isn't. Dodgers still got a hit. You know what? I hadn't done that since like the first week of the season.
I think, Rob, you're trying to give it over to me because the Dodgers score so many runs.
I think that's probably what it is. So we'll see. If the Dodgers don't score here, we'll know that's exactly what it is. Dodgers lead this one 10-4 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Rob Stanek back with you at Joe Cannon Stadium, Hanover, Maryland, where the Baltimore Dodgers lead the Alexandria Aces by a score of 10-6. The Dodgers have played the Aces very well this season. Whoa, lights. As now Brian Tego will stand in to lead things off for the Dodgers. He's had himself a pretty productive day. Couple of singles, one from either side of the plate, and he scored a run. And then did a good job getting back to the ball quickly in the top half of the innings. A fastball in there for a strike to keep the runner at third base and prevent a run from scoring. That could prove to be huge. The 0-1 will miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to the switch hitting Brian Tego. Tego will be heading into his junior season at LaSalle. Hits a hard line drive into center field. Coming on and not able to make the play is Griffin. Tego with his 3rd hit of today. And, wow, maybe it's time to start inserting him into the starting lineup on a regular basis if he's going to keep hitting like that.
Yeah, Tego in left field, Bellamy in right, McElwain at DH. Seems to be working pretty well. I know McElwain at DH kind of happened because he suffered that minor ankle injury, but maybe that's how you want to keep things. Any combination of those 3 outfielders in the lineup in the corner outfield positions and a designated hitter.
Yeah, we actually saw Tego early in the season as the designated hitter for a few games. He doesn't really fit the bill. He's a kind of a lanky guy, a speed guy that you don't usually see as a designated hitter. As the top of the order, Joey Ortiz coming to the plate. But, you know, if he's going to hit like that, he can designate a hit anytime he wants. Ortiz, 2 for 3. He's been on base every time, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd and came around to score. Drove in a run in the 3rd. Drove in 2, excuse me. He's going to try and bunt for a base hit here. And he fouls it off. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Dodgers with a 10-4 lead. They scored 7 runs in the 2nd inning. Gave up 4 in the 3rd. Got 3 back in the 3rd. And then surrendered 2 in the 5th. And that's where we stand. I think I said 10-4. It's 10-6. Foul ball back into the screen. And down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes, is the Dodgers' second baseman. One of the better hitters for the Dodgers, as I said, 2 for 3 here today. It's going to jump his average back up over 300 on the season. He's kind of been playing jump rope with that 300 mark. I'm sure he'll be happy to be back over that number. Second on the team in RBIs. Picked up 2 more here today. And the throw over to check on Tego. Not a good pitch to run on here for Tego is 0-2 pitch out, which we don't see that often in the Cal Ripken League, but a pitch out is certainly on the table here, 0-2. Right-handed pitcher warming up for the Alexandria Aces. This might be the last inning we'll see Lander. Tego the short lead over at first base. The 0-2 pitch. Tego's going to go. And a nice hit and run as the ball goes the other way. And the right fielder couldn't even find it for a second. And Ortiz is going to try for second. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. And Ortiz gets a hustle double because the right fielder, Mac Nathanson, did not pick up the ball right away and didn't start charging once that ball was hit.
Well, even before that, perfectly, you can't execute a hit and run any better than that as the second baseman takes off to cover the bag. Joey Ortiz deposits the baseball exactly where he was playing. And you think usually in that position you got a solid runner in Tego, you're going to end up with first and third. But Ortiz saw immediately that the right fielder out there, Nathanson, didn't get quite a great read on it, and he used his speed to get into second. Now 2 in scoring position for David Bellamy.
And in comes the Aces infield, and a high fly ball out behind the third base bag. Coming over is the shortstop Schumann, and he makes the catch right on the foul line for out number 1.
And the struggles today for David Bellamy, who's been pretty hot lately, continue. Every Dodger has been on base except for Bellamy, who's now 0 for 4. And I just want to say one thing. David Bellamy is who I talked to pregame on Baltimore Dodgers TV for the pregame interview, and I talked about how hot he's been lately, what a great defensive play he made last night, and he may blame this one on me.
I certainly would, as it looks like this is going to do it for Lander as Coach Da Silva out to get the baseball, and in comes the new pitcher. We'll tell you who that is, and we'll talk about it when we get back. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Back here for the pitching change, Rob Stanek alongside Connor Newcomb. New pitcher Shane Ennis making his, we're finishing up his warm-up pitches, and he's going to take the mound for the Aces to try and get them out of this jam. The Dodgers maybe score some runs for me in this inning. We'll see. Second and third and one away. Brandon McElwain at the plate. Corners in for the Aces, and a fastball is going to catch the outside corner for McElwain. Dustin Lander went 3 2/3, 4 hits, walked 2 and didn't strike out any. Those 2 runners on base are his responsibility. And he also gave up 2 earned runs in the third inning. So could end up with 4 earned runs as a fastball poured on the outside corner for strike 2. McElwain down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Ennis making his second appearance of the season for the Aces. His last appearance came against the Big Train. He did not fare very well. Pitched an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits and 4 runs. The 0-2. The fastball fouled away by McElwain, and it looks like Ennis is just content on pounding the fastball here to try and get McElwain out.
Yeah, Ennis out of West Virginia just finished up his junior year in Morgantown. He had 7 appearances for the Mountaineers, 14 2/3 innings pitched, had a 3.68 ERA, struck out 15 and walked 11, also gave up 3 long balls. Not a great season out of the pen for him.
0-2 pitch. And a foul tip and good luck for the Dodgers as Martinez not able to hold it. As looks at the glove, a little upset with himself as that could have been a huge strikeout there for Ennis. As right now, any hit to the middle infield should score the speedy Tago. I'd imagine the contact play is on, so any ball put in play, Tago should be off for the plate.
You just got to be smart just in case there's a hard hit ball hit to one of the corners, especially third base right by him.
As now Ennis is going to step off and take a minute to regroup and think about this 0-2 pitch. It's a big pitch here. The Dodgers hold a 4-run lead, threatening to make it larger as he delivers. And a swing and a miss by McElwain. He's down on strikes, and that is a big strikeout for Ennis.
Yeah, big K there. Just to get you a little scoreboard update around the Cal Ripken League. Some big games going on as far as the Dodgers around the league. First of all, the T-Bolts, who sit tied with the Dodgers in the standings right now, 1 game back of that second wildcard spot. They trail the Giants 5-2. The Herndon Braves, who hold the number 1 wildcard spot, and the Dodgers are a game behind them, they trail the last place Loudoun River Dogs 11-2.
So some good news elsewhere. Let's see if we have some good news here as Shane Coker will come to the plate. His last time, a check swing ground ball to short as the ball gets in the dirt, and Tago not tempted to come to the plate as the ball just barely getting away from the catcher Martinez.
And the other big game concerning the Dodgers, the D.C. Grays, who the Dodgers are just a game back of for that second wild card spot. They're in the top of the 8th inning against the Baltimore Redbirds, and the Redbirds lead that game 4-0. So the Redbirds, who beat the Dodgers last night, kind of helping them out so far tonight.
1 ball, no strike pitch. Shane Coker fouling one away, out of play behind the stadium here at Hanover, Maryland, across from Arundel Mills Mall and the Maryland Live Casino. I suggest if you're within ear, if you're close by, come down, watch the game. It's free to the public. Afterwards, you can go to whatever, the casino or the mall, whichever you prefer.
And use that money that you saved by going to the free baseball game.
Exactly. Whether it's gambling or shopping. There's a lot to do here by the ballpark.
Do we have to have a disclaimer here that we do not condone gambling?
As long as we're not betting on baseball, I think.
There you go. Yeah, don't bet on the game. It's free to get into. Don't ruin it.
1-2 pitch. And a foul ball by Coker. He's going to try and get these runs in. He's still alive. By the way, you can stay the night if you get tired. It's a home 2. Out over the left center field wall by the scoreboard. You can stay there. They're nice suites. They got little kitchenettes in them. Nice place. 1-2 pitch. And Coker swings and misses, and Ennis comes in and gets 2 strikeouts. And the Dodgers leave runners at second and third and can't score a run. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and let Connor take over because they only score runs for Connor. As we head to the top of the 7th inning, the Dodgers hold a 10-6 lead. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball.
And welcome back into Joe Cannon Stadium here on this Saturday night. We're just past 9 p.m. Eastern Time as the Dodgers hold a 10-6 lead over the Alexandria Aces. I'm Connor Newcomb alongside Rob Stadnick. I'll be taking you the rest of the way here at Joe Cannon Stadium as John Sikowski, the side-arming right-hander, is still in there for the Dodgers. And that first pitch goes with the front door breaking ball, but it misses low for ball 1. To finish up that scoreboard update, the final score that does kind of affect the Baltimore Dodgers. The Rockville Express leading the Bethesda Big Train 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Express, despite being 9-19, are just 2 games back of the Dodgers in the wild card standings. As swing and a miss there on a good pitch from Sikowski. As Eli Bogus, the third baseman, he's behind, or even in the count, 1-1. Bogus on the day 0 for 3, but he did have an RBI fielder's choice in the third and come around to score. Sikowski set the 1-1, grounded foul down the third baseline, and the count now goes to 1-2. And, of course, that was 4 games I gave you, 10 teams in the league. Of course, the 5th and final game right here as the Dodgers lead the Aces by a score of 10-6. John Sikowski's really been a long reliever this year, has the stamina to finish off this game if he could for the Dodgers. 1-2 breaking ball, and that just misses up high. And John Sikowski thought it was strike 3, and you know who else thought it was strike 3 was the batter, Eli Bogus. He started to walk towards the dugout, and the umpire said, no, get back in the batter's box as the count evens up 2-2.
I bet he calls the next one a strike.
Sikowski set over towards third, and the pitch. It's popped into the air over towards first base. Shane Coker right on top of the foul line, and he makes the catch. There's one away.
Told you he'd call the next one a strike. You don't show up the umpire by trying to walk back to the dugout, man. I call the balls and strikes. You don't strike yourself out. I strike you out.
One of the more interesting things, I mean, you're used to the batters having complete confidence in the call, even if, it doesn't go their way. Like on a 3-2 borderline pitch, you'll see guys take it, drop the bat, and start running to first and get rung up anyway. But that was the exact opposite. The one you really don't usually see is Mac Nathanson will step in with 1 out. First pitch, front door breaking ball. Sikowski loves that front door slider, and the righties really can't seem to time it as it's in the zone. The count's 0-1.
Yeah, it's been very effective for him. He's able to been keeping the Aces off the board here.
And a good little change up there, I think. A pitch seldom used by Sikowski, but he uses it there, and the count's now 0-2. For listeners that may not know, the front door slider when a righty's in there, that would be from the right-handed pitcher that starts off the inside part of the plate, then curves onto the plate. The backdoor slider would be a pitch that starts off the outside part of the plate to the hitter and curves back towards the outside corner. Sikowski set the 0-2. That slider runs outside, and the count's now 1-2.
Yeah, again, one of those things working away with the off-speed stuff. Another chance for him to come in with the heat and maybe get some soft contact.
Sikowski looking in for the sign, glove tucked up against his chest with the arm kind of dangling down by his knees. He's still waiting for that sign from Wolanski, who will call time and run through the signs again. The right-handed hitter, Mac Nathanson, in the batter's box. He grounded out to the catcher in his first at-bat, but then has doubled and singled since, so 2 for 3 on the day for the Aces right fielder. Now Sikowski set, little staggered stance, 1-2 breaking ball, misses outside, and the count evens at 2-2.
Keeps trying to get that chase off that outside corner. The Aces hitters are doing a good job not chasing any pitches out of the zone, making Sikowski come into them.
Nathanson, who's in between his junior and senior year at Wofford. Sikowski set, looking in, long look for the sign. Now the 2-2, swing and a miss. Gets him with the high fastball, blows the heat right by Nathanson. And there's 2 down here in the 7th.
Second strikeout of the game by Sikowski, getting the high heater past Nathanson there, and big out, 2 away here. We saw that in the last inning as well, and hopefully we don't have to go through the heart palpitations that we did the last inning.
In steps Cam Smith now, the designated hitter for the Aces. Smith came into this game hitting .292, and today he is 1 for 3. Sikowski set, first pitch fastball, runs off the outside corner, and misses for a ball. Smith's day, he singled back in the 2nd inning, but was stranded at first base, then flew out to center field in the 3rd, and then had a RBI sac fly out to right field in the 5th. Now Sikowski's 1-0 is a good breaking ball. Smith goes chasing for it out of the zone and swings and misses. Counts now 1-1. Sikowski looking for the final out here. There would be a 1-2-3 inning for this Dodgers pitching staff. 1-1, breaking ball fouled down the right field line. It will go out of play, and the count's now 1-2, so Sikowski just 1 strike away. John Sikowski, the side-arming righty out of Creighton University. One of 3 Creighton players on this Dodger roster. Sikowski set the 1-2. Fouled off the mask of Wolanski, or what it looked like. May have just hit the dirt. Got a weird angle up here for what it hits, whether it hits the ground, the catcher, or the umpire. You can't really see your screen from up here, so either way, a foul ball, and the count's still 1-2. Sikowski's coming set again, right at his chin. 1-2, swing and a miss. Got him with the slider as he chases it way outside. So Sikowski back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. He's got 3 in this appearance so far. It's time to stretch. Here at Joe Cannon Stadium, the Dodgers holding on to a 10-6 lead over the Alexandria Aces. You are listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Welcome back into Joe Cannon Stadium. Connor Newcomb alongside Rob Stadnick. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning in this Saturday night matchup between the Baltimore Dodgers and the Alexandria Aces. And the Dodgers lead it 10-6 as Austin James will step in to lead it off here in the 7th inning against the right-hander Shane Ennis out of West Virginia for the Aces. First pitch fastball, a lot of heat there as James swings right through it for strike one. Ennis came in with runners on second and third and one out in the bottom of the 6th and got 2 key strikeouts, both of the swinging variety, set down McElwain and Coker to end the inning and keep the Dodgers off the board. That fastball grounded foul down the first baseline, and the count is quickly 0-2 to the Dodgers' all-star shortstop. Talked about it a little earlier, but named to the all-star team for the Dodgers, the catcher Shamoy Christopher, who's not in the lineup tonight, second baseman Joey Ortiz, and shortstop Austin James, along with Dodgers starting pitcher Josh Hedgeka. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. The count's now 1-2. And the big thing for the Dodgers, they got 4 All-Stars, and all of them were voted to be starters for Monday night's All-Star game in Bethesda. All 4 got the most votes in the league at their respective positions. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there from Ennis, and Ennis has faced 3 batters and struck them all out so far here at the Joe.
Yeah, all of them swinging as well. The first couple with the fastball, just working mostly fastball. Went a little off speed there to James a couple times and was able to get him as well.
So now Jaron Shelby steps in, 1 for 3 on the day, singled and came around to score back in the 2nd. First pitch fastball misses inside for a ball. He has since flied out to right field and grounded out to third base. Shelby came into this game really struggling at the plate, and that's kind of continued tonight since that base hit. He was hitting 132 coming into tonight's game. 1-0 fastball misses down and outside as well as the count goes to 2-0. Really thought Shelby would maybe break out of his slump last Saturday in that homecoming doubleheader against the Rockville Express over at Johns Hopkins University in the game 2 of the doubleheader in the bottom of the 7th inning. That was the last inning of the game, 2 7-inning ball games. The Dodgers trailed 2-1 as Shelby came up to lead off the inning. 2-0 pitch here is a fastball that just misses the inside corner for a ball. Well, Shelby saw the first pitch that was a fastball. He liked it and drove it over the right center field fence that tied the game at 2. The Dodgers would later walk it off on an RBI single from Nick Ortega. 3-0 pitch, that's a fastball in there at the knees as the count's now 3-1. So I thought maybe that would get Shelby going, but it's been a week and he still hasn't been able to get out of that funk that he's been in for most of the season. 3-1, he grounds it towards third base, and nice snag there at third by Bogus. Throw over to first is in time. Nice play. Robs Jaron Shelby of a hit who can't get anything to go his way as there's now 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, that's got to be one of those things where you just kind of throw your hands up like, come on, man, I'm struggling. I hit a ball hard. It's in the hole. And still, it's one of those, you just feel like what's going to break him out of it is almost something that's he shouldn't get a hit on, like a lucky little hit, little swinging bunt down the third baseline. That's what's going to end up getting him going because he's hitting the ball hard, just hitting it at people. So it's just been a little unfortunate.
Now Paul DePino, the third baseman for the Dodgers, steps in. He squares to bunt, and, well, he didn't look very comfortable bunting that inside fastball. Got a piece of his bat, then a piece of his leg, and ended up foul for the first strike.
And not the best bunt attempt. That ball almost hit him. I think he basically used the bat to deflect the ball away from him there instead of actually trying to put it in play. So that ball, it was close. He was trying to get out of the way and bunt it at the same time. Probably would have had a difficult time running down to first base if he put it in fair territory.
The righty Ennis into his wind. 0-1, lined into center field, coming in on his Griffin, and he gets there to make the catch. So the Dodgers go down 1-2-3. All 5 batters that the righty Shane Ennis has faced have been set down, so he's had a nice outing out of the bullpen so far for the Aces. We're through 7 here at Joe Cannon Stadium. The Dodgers lead Alexandria 10-6. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Back here at Joe Cannon Stadium, Dodgers leading the Alexandria Aces 10-6 as the right-hander John Sikowski, who relieved Dodger starter Casey Gass back in the 5th inning, recorded 2 outs in the 5th, has gotten through the 6th and the 7th, and he's back out there for the 8th. Sikowski's had a lot of length so far out of the bullpen this season. Multiple times has gone 5 innings, so he's looking for 4 2/3 right here if he were to finish it out for the Dodgers, and not something that it was too bad for him to do. He's done it before this year, and he could do it again right here. First pitch from him, that's lined down the third base line for a base hit. It's into the corner. That was Devon Griffin as Tego up with it in the corner, but he's in easily at second base. A stand-up double to start the 8th inning, and just what the doctor ordered for the Aces. They try to cut into this 4-run deficit.
Yeah, Devon Griffin jumping all over the first pitch he saw from Sikowski and just lines it past DePino over third base. DePino not really much of a chance to move before that ball was by him.
So with a runner on second and nobody out here in the top of the 8th, the catcher David Martinez was due up, but he's 0 for 3 on the day. And it looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter for the Alexandria Aces. Looks like Todd Elwood's going to hit. It's the infielder from UNC Charlotte, just finished up his freshman year there. Appeared in 25 games, 35 ABs, and hit 171 in his college season. Sikowski set, checks the runner at second, and checks him again. Then the delivery. Fastball misses inside for a ball. Elwood this season has gotten 49 at-bats with the Aces, and he's hitting .306. That's 15 hits on the year. 3 of them have been doubles, but no home runs. He has, however, driven in 5 runs. Walked 6 times and been struck out 14. 1-0 fastball misses down low, and the count's now 2-0. Elwood spent most of his college season this spring serving as a pinch hitter for UNC Charlotte. That's why the 35 ABs in 25 games. 2-0 lined into left field. That's going to get down in front of Tego for a base hit. He gets up with it quickly and hits the cutoff man DePino, so that keeps the runner Griffin at third, but the Aces have covered the corners with nobody out here in the top of the 8th, trailing the Dodgers 10-6.
Elwood going the other way with that one. A nice line drive the other way. One hopper to the left fielder with nobody out. Obviously, don't want to try and push it with Griffin. And runners to the corners, nobody away. In the top of the order coming to the plate for the Aces.
So the right button pushed by manager David De Silva in his 6th season coaching the Aces goes with the pinch hitter, and it pays off the RBI, or excuse me, just the pinch hit single from Todd Elwood. Now Schumann is up. First pitch, he fouls straight back to the screen. And the count is 0-1.
Korzinski again back up, warming up for the Baltimore Dodgers. Looks like he'll be coming in if Sikowski can't get himself out of this.
Sikowski's set. Still looking for the sign. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there. And he's quickly ahead of the Aces leadoff hitter Max Schumann, 0-2. Schumann on the day, not having a great day at the top of the lineup. He's 0 for 4. The only time he did reach base was on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning, but he did eventually come around to score. Sikowski in his set and looking in. The 0-2 to Schumann. Breaking ball just misses the inside corner. He went for his favorite front door slider. Looked like it just bent around the corner, and it had Schumann fooled. He thought it was going to hit him. He almost turned out of the way, and then it took a hard left turn back towards the inside corner, but just couldn't get there, and the count is now 1-2. Wouldn't be surprised if Sikowski went back to that exact same pitch, trying to touch the inside corner this time. 1-2, that's grounded towards second base. Ortiz up with it, flips to James for 1, and he won't throw it back to first. So the run comes in to score as Griffin crosses the plate on the RBI fielder's choice from Max Schumann. It's now a 10-7 Dodger lead.
Yeah, ball not hit hard enough again. The second time Schumann's hit a softly hit ground ball and been able to reach on the fielder's choice. He gets the RBI and cuts into this Dodger lead. They now lead by 3. But Sikowski is now just a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
So now Ray Zuberer, the second baseman, who hits from the left side, he steps in for the Aces. Runner on first and 1 out. They trail the Dodgers 10-7 here in the top of the 8th inning. Sikowski set, First pitch, fastball fisted towards the Dodger dugout. DePino over there on the warning track makes the catch. Play from Paul DePino to get over to that ball quickly and right down the line from the Dodger dugout. He makes the catch on the warning track, and there's quickly 2 down.
Yeah, that's a big play there for the Dodgers. That ball off the fist. A lot of times you see those little flares out there in foul territory. They're usually getting down with no problem because there's not a lot of juice on them, but got it up in the air enough that DePino is able to get under it and make the catch for out number 2.
So in steps the left fielder Nick Slaughter, who's had himself quite a day. 3 for 3 on the day with an RBI and has reached base all 4 times, also walked. Breaking ball from Sikowski runs just off the outside corner and misses for ball 1. Slaughter singled in the first, had an RBI single and came around to score in the third, walked and came around to score in the 5th, and then doubled in the 6th. Sikowski set, checking at first, runner goes, 1-0 pitch in there for strike 1, throw to second is not nearly in time. So a stolen base there for Schumann, and the Aces get a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Yeah, with all the breaking balls being thrown by Sikowski, the Aces decided they were going to go ahead and try and test him here. Another breaking ball, as you said, finds the strike zone, I think. Yes, it was 2 home. And he's able to make it into second safely.
RBI chance for Slaughter here, but he swings and misses at that fastball, and now Sikowski 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Counts now 1-2 with 2 down in the top of the 8th. Dodgers leading the Alexandria Aces, who sit in first place in the Cal Ripken League Southern Division, 10-7. Sikowski checking second base quickly. And the 1-2. That's in the dirt. Good stop from Wolanski as he keeps the runner right there at second. Nobody really holding Schumann at second as Ortiz and James playing pretty straight up in the infield, as are DePino and Coker on the corners, and Tego, Shelby, and Bellamy across the outfield playing straight up as well. Now Sikowski set again, gives a quick check back there, and the 2-2. Breaking ball runs off the corner. That's a great take by Slaughter at the plate. That's got to be an enticing pitch that starts right around the outside corner and breaks off. But good hitter, as we've seen today. He's been on base all 4 times, and he lays off to run the count full. Any way he can get on base would bring the tying run to the plate. Payoff pitch. Slider misses outside. Same pitch, and Slaughter lays off again, and that tying run will come to the plate in the form of Ethan Cady.
And no movement over there in the Dodger dugout, so it looks like Sikowski's going to get to face him. The lefty in Cady. You got the lefty warm up back in the Dodger bullpen. This might be a good time to go lefty-lefty, but he's going to allow the righty to face him. And Cady has been hitless today.
Sikowski set, first pitch, breaking ball. Got the inside corner at the knees. Good pitch. It's 0-1. I know the question you're asking with Cady being the tying run. Well, what kind of power does he have? He's got 1 home run and 13 RBI on the season. His freshman year at Lipscomb, well, he only had 5 at-bats. Got 1 hit and 1 RBI. None of them home runs. 0-1, good backdoor slider. Cady didn't know it was coming there. He thought it was going to be a fastball off the outside corner, and it just broke into the zone. And Sikowski does a good job. 2 sliders, and he gets ahead 0-2. 1 pitch from escaping the jam with Schumann on second and Slaughter on first. Dodgers leading at 10-7. Sikowski set, checking second base. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses up high. Good idea there by the Dodger righty, but the count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, I'd go there one more time, see if you can get the chase, and if not, come back with something slow after the 2-2 count.
I think he was liking how that slider was working, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tosses another one in here. Sikowski gets his sign. He's happy with it, but who wasn't happy with the time is Cady. As soon as Sikowski came set, Cady called time at the plate. He steps out and then steps back in. Open stance from the left side, wiggles the bat at the shoulder. Sikowski set, checks second, now to the plate. Breaking ball in the dirt, good stop from Wolanski, keeps the runners where they are. And the count evens up as the deuces are wild here in the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, not a good pitch by Sikowski as that ball landed a few feet in front of home plate, so that makes it really difficult on your catcher, especially when you throw breaking balls out there, because that ball can, with that spin, can kick and go a long way away from the catcher, so Wolanski doing a great job of knocking that down.
Cady looking for his pitch here. Sikowski looking for the out. Comes set, checking second. 2-2 delivery. Fastball just misses. Doesn't look like it was off the inside corner, so it may have been just a little low. And the count goes full. So Schumann at second and Slaughter at first will get a head start with a full count and 2 down here in the 8th. So a gapper could score 2 and cut the Dodger lead to just 1. Sikowski set. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Sikowski gets the big K. So John Sikowski allows 1 run in the inning, but that's it. As the tying run came to the plate in the form of Ethan Cady, but he goes down swinging on the 3-2 pitch. We head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Dodgers will look to add on to this lead. They lead the Aces 10-7 here at Joe Cannon Stadium. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. Welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. Connor Newcomb here alongside Rob Stadnick. In the bottom of the 8th inning, couple changes here for the Alexandria Aces. First of all, going behind the plate to catch is Nick Slaughter, a regular catcher who was playing some left field in this game, but he'll go back behind the plate as David Martinez, the starting catcher, was pinch hit for, and the pinch hitter was Todd Elwood. He'll head out to left field, so he'll stay in the ballgame. That's where Nick Slaughter was before he went behind the plate. And then the final change, a new pitcher for the Alexandria Aces. It's the right-hander wearing number 22, Hughes Page, the red shirt freshman, or will be a rising red shirt freshman, out of the University of Virginia. And Hughes, an Alexandria, Virginia native, so playing for his hometown Cal Ripken League team. And it will be Page tasked with putting up a 0 here and getting his Aces offense back to the plate, trailing by just 3 in the top of the 9th. They currently trail the Dodgers by a score of 10-7. And it will be the Dodger catcher Alex Wilansky to lead it off. Wilansky 0 for 1 on the day, but has scored 2 runs and has an RBI. Brought in a run on a bases-loaded hit by pitch back in the 2nd, and walked and came around to score in the 3rd. First pitch to Wilansky, check swing, but he went too far around, and the count's now 0-1 as new catcher and new pitcher, so that first pitch might have crossed Slaughter up a little bit. He'll go out to the mound to talk to his right-hander, Page.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're being generous with check swing there. I think he could have hit that ball to the water tower if he made contact. That check swing went at least 3/4.
So Shane Ennis, the right-hander, he comes out of the game after retiring all 5 batters he faced, including 3 strikeouts. The next pitch to Wilansky, fastball catches the inside corner, and the count is 0-2. So a good outing from Ennis, only his 2nd of the season. He goes 1 2/3, gives up nothing, no runs on no hits, doesn't walk anybody, and strikes out 3. Now it's up to Page to put up one more 0 and give the Aces a chance to come back in the top of the 9th. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. Good take from Wolanski. And the count's now 1-2. Page works out of the wind from the far first base side of the pitching rubber. Kind of has a abbreviated windup, starts about 45-degree angle, then gets into his wind. 1-2, lined into left field. Elwood is out there going back and makes the catch. So like it always happens, you come in defensively, and the first ball is hit right at you. Elwood makes the play. There's one away.
Yeah, they'll find you. You get out there, they'll find you. Alex Wolanski with a hard-hit ball out in the left. Elwood almost overran that ball as the ball coming off the bat of a right-handed hitter is going to curl back towards that line. He actually had to reach back and catch it by his face instead of out making a nice, easy running catch.
So in steps the switch-hitting Brian Tago, who's 3 for 3 with 3 singles on the day, and he's got 2 RBI as well. First pitch swings right through a fastball right around the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-1. Tago getting the start in left today. They kind of been not really a platoon, maybe somewhat of a platoon between Brian Tago and usually Nick Ortega out there in left field. 0-1, that's popped high into the air right behind second base. Going back is the second baseman Zuber. He calls everybody off and makes the catch. Quickly 2 down here in the Dodgers half of the 8th. And the top of the order now back up for the Baltimore Dodgers. It's going to be Joey Ortiz, who has had himself a very nice day. 3 for 4. He singled in the first, 2 RBI single in the third, and doubled in the sixth. The only time that he has the 0 for 1, he reached on a fielder's choice. That was an RBI fielder's choice back in the second. So 3 RBI on the day and 3 hits. First pitch to Ortiz. Fastball misses up high for a ball. Talked about Hughes Page, the new pitcher this inning. This is his 9th appearance. He's worked 11 2/3 innings coming into this game for the Aces with a 3.85 ERA. The righty into his very quick wind, the 1-0. Breaking ball misses below the knees. Counts now 2-0. Page has struck out 13 batters and walked 8, allowing 9 hits and giving up 5 earned runs on the season. Allowed opposing batters to hit only 200 against him. Page comes set right into the wind. 2-0 to Ortiz, lined into left field. That falls in. And the 4th hit of the day for Joey Ortiz, who he is definitely earning the All-Star bid and the All-Star starting selection he got from the Cal Ripken League this past week. And really, Rob, he's earned it all season.
Absolutely. A batting average above, well, now probably well above 300. Great glove. I don't think he has an error on the season. I don't have that exact stat in front of me, but certain just one error. Thank you, Connor. He's got 1 error on the season. Great defensively, great offensively. What else can you ask for out of your second baseman?
Here's a guy who hasn't had such a great offensive day, David Bellamy. We've been talking about it throughout the game. Every Dodger has reached base in this game. Not every Dodger has a hit, but every Dodger has reached base in this game, except for David Bellamy, who's been pretty hot in the number 2 hole, but he is 0 for 4 and has grounded into 2 double plays. He's behind 0-1 on the count. That first pitch was a fastball on the outside corner. This pitch, he lines into center field. Griffin taking a couple steps to his right, and Bellamy may end this game without a hit. He's not going to be very happy with this performance, but he's had better performances in the past week, so he'll get back to hitting, I'm sure, very soon. Coming in is Hughes Page, the right-hander. He gives up a hit, but that's it. No runs as he works a scoreless 8th. We head to the top of the 9th inning as the Dodgers will look to close it out. John Sikowski back to the hill here at Joe Cannon Stadium. You're listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium as the Baltimore Dodgers looking to close out this victory over the Alexandria Aces here in the top of the ninth inning. They lead it 10-7 as John Sikowski back out there for the ninth inning, looking to close it out. He'll face Eli Boggers. First pitch, breaking ball, and it just misses, maybe a little high, as the count is now 1-0. Boggers on the day, 0 for 4. 1-0 lined into left field, and a good start for the Aces. A leadoff single for Boggess, and he's on base. They just need to get one more on to bring the tying run to the plate.
And it looks like Korzinski starting to stir around there. He might get another couple throws in before they might go to him as looks going down there to the bullpen. He's been up a couple times. Can't need a lot of throws. He's probably just about ready. A couple throws and get him in there if they need to.
So now Mac Nathanson, the right-handed hitter, at the plate. First pitch fastball just misses below the knees. Looked like it would have had the outside corner, so I'm guessing missed just low for ball one. Nathanson on the day, 2 for 4. He's got 3 RBIs, had a 2 RBI double in the third and RBI single in the fifth. Surrounded by a ground out to the catcher and a strikeout in the seventh. 1-0, fastball pop foul over top the Aces dugout, and the count evens up 1-1. Be interesting to see how worried the Dodgers will be about the runner at first base. He maybe could take off without a throw here to get himself in scoring position, but I don't know if the Aces want to risk that just in case the Dodgers would jump all over it and try to get the first out of the inning.
If I'm them, I do, because if I'm the Dodgers, I would try and throw him out just because they've been so good at it this year.
Here's the 1-1. That's grounded into left field off the glove of DePino, and I just think that's going to go down as a base hit. Would have been a tough play for DePino. Don't know if it actually tipped the glove or not. It was very close, but either way, back-to-back singles to start the inning.
It looks like they gave him an error on the play. Yep, they're going to call that an E5. So another error charged to DePino.
It's a tough error to me on DePino. I mean, I know it got very close to his glove. I'm guessing it did nick off the glove. They're giving him the error, but it was a tough hop there and a tough play. But Derek Brown heading to the mound. He'll take the ball from John Sikowski. That's going to be it for him. We're guessing it's going to be Korzinski coming out of the bullpen. But we'll get you the official new pitcher when we get back. Back-to-back base runners. Boggess and Nathanson get on with nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Dodgers trying to hold on to this 10-7 lead. You're listening to Baltimore Dodger Baseball. back here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Connor Newcomb alongside Rob Stadnick in the top of the ninth inning. So John Sikowski started off the ninth, giving up a single and an error. He's out of the game, goes 3 2/3, gives up 4 hits, walks 3, and strikes out 4. The run still to be decided with both those runners on base. And it's the left-hander out of Salisbury, A.J. Korsinski, who will take the mound looking for the save. And the right-handed DH Cam Smith will step in, so a lefty-righty matchup first for Korsinski. First pitch fastball, catches the outside corner, good spot to start it off, and the count's now 0-1.
Yes. Go ahead. I would say that looked like the pitch that Sikowski was having a hard time getting from the home plate umpire.
Korsinski gets it, though, and now he's ahead 0-1 to Smith. The 0-1 delivery in the dirt, another good stop from Wolanski to keep those runners right where they are. Now, obviously not a huge difference with them both being in scoring position or them just one with the 3-run lead, but if any runner advances, especially first to second, you take out the big possibility of a double play here, which would be huge for the Dodgers, who are just looking for outs and trying to keep the aces off the board or at least keep them from scoring at least 3 times. But the count is 1-1 to Smith. For Korsinski for the Dodgers, his 6th appearance, 4th one out of the bullpen. He's made 2 starts as well. Overall, has gone 17 1/3 innings on the season. Lefty comes set right at the chin. 1-1 delivery. That's grounded to shortstop. Austin James up with it to Ortiz. They got one. On to first, and the throw gets away and goes all the way to the fence. The runner from third base, Bogus, will come around and touch home plate. But the important thing for the Dodgers is they get the out, and even more importantly, Cam Smith did not advance to second on the errant throw. So he's going to reach on the fielder's choice, and the run will come across on the throwing error by Joey Ortiz.
The second error of the season for Joey Ortiz, and now that that's happened, it just jogs my memory. That was what the first error was as well, something very similar to that, allowing a runner to get to second base on a potential double play. But again, the double play still in order. New batter coming to the plate. No, excuse me, not a new batter, maybe a new runner, as it is going to be a new runner over at first base.
Devon Griffin still at the plate. Runner on first base. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Dodgers lead is down to 10-8, so the tying run is stepping into the batter's box, again, for the Aces, with just 1 away in the inning. No RBI there for Cam Smith as the runner came around to score on the errant throw by Ortiz. Korsinski set. He's all the way over on the third base side of the rubber. First pitch here to Griffin. Swings right through a fastball. The count's now 0-1.
And the Aces don't have numbers on the front of their jerseys, unfortunately, so I believe the runner at first base is Mason Nadeau, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mason Nadeau out of Penn State. I think he's running it first. 0-1 to Griffin. Breaking ball didn't break a lot and misses up high and maybe a touch outside as well as the count evens up at 1. Korsinski, we talked about his stats this season for the Dodgers. He's given up 11 hits and 6 earned runs in those 17 1/3 innings pitched. Struck out 17 and walked 11. 1-1, fastball in the dirt. Gets away from Wolanski. He can't find it, and that allows the runner to move into scoring position. So, again, as I talked about, the tying run's not in scoring position. He's still at the plate, but the double play now no longer in order. So it would be very difficult for this batter, Devon Griffin, to be the one that ends the game, which is big for the Dodgers, as Korsinski will have to get the next 2 batters out at the plate. Also missed for a ball, so now Griffin ahead 2-1. The runner on second base. Here's the 2-1 pitch, fastball. He got the outside corner. Another good spot from the big Dodger lefty. The count evens up 2-2. Korsinski's ERA on the season, 3.11. The big stat for him. Opposing hitters hitting only 190 against the lanky lefty. He kind of steps off. Calling time at home plate is the batter, Griffin. Korsinski at Salisbury this season. It was his sophomore year. He made 4 appearances, pitched 3 1/3 innings, so he got 10 outs. Now, the 10.8 ERA was not good. That's 2-2 pitch, and he fouls it off of Wolanski and will stay alive 2-2. As I said, the 10.80 ERA was not good. So he gave up 4 earned runs in those 3 1/3 innings pitched. But the big thing for Korsinski was A, the 154 opponent batting average, and B, all 10 of his outs he recorded at Salisbury this season out of the bullpen were all recorded via the strikeout. So you know he's got good stuff, good swing and miss stuff. He's just got to be able to find more control and know when to use his best pitches. Korsinski set at the chin. Another 2-2 to Griffin. Fastball, that misses off the outside corner. He tried to get that corner again, but that one kind of had a little bit of two-seam action and ran into the opposite batter's box, and the count goes full to the right-handed hitting Griffin. The pinch hitter Nadeau standing on second base with one out in the top of the ninth. Dodgers holding on to a 10-8 lead over the Alexandria Aces. Here's the payoff pitch. That in there, called strike three, caught the corner at the knees, right on the inside corner. What a pitch from Korsinski, and there's two down.
Yeah, getting that call, the Alexandria Aces bench not happy with that call, but when you get the call from the home plate umpire, you take it, two away. Dodgers just one out away from winning this ball game.
Now I thought maybe the Aces would go with another pinch hitter with Todd Elwood stepping in lefty on lefty here, as they have some bats on the bench, but they will let Elwood hit. First pitch from Korsinski. That pitch misses off the inside corner. It will be ball one to Elwood, who was hitting for the second time in this game. He had that pinch hit single back in the eighth, but was retired on a fielder's choice running to second base. Elwood out of UNC Charlotte hit 171 for the 49ers this season. 1-0, fastball misses up high. The count's now 2-0. Not only does Korsinski want to put him on, which would put the tying run on first base instead of at the plate, it would flip the lineup over to Max Schumann. And despite him not having the best day, being 0 for 5, he's still been a dangerous hitter all season.
Once that tying run gets on base, all bets are off.
Korsinski set right around his chin. Here's the 2-0, fastball. That's right where he wants to put it. Outside corner, right around the letters, and the count's now 2-1. Korsinski gets his strike, just needing two more here. As I talked about in his college season, those good numbers, 10 outs, 10 strikeouts. Looking for one of those here. Set the 2-1 to Elwood. Fastball misses up high, and the count's now 3-1.
Now, Korsinski, as a contrast to the other pitchers that the Dodgers have thrown out there, he actually comes from straight over top, and he's having difficulty getting on top of that ball and leaving everything up right now.
Yeah, he did well to strike out Griffin. Perfect pitch at the knees, but against Elwood hasn't worked out. Now he's set again, the 3-1 delivery. Fastball in there at the letter, so he gets on top of that one enough, and the count goes full 3-2. So a big pitch here could be the final one of the game. Mason Nadeau leading off second base. He'd be the ninth run. The tying run is at the plate in the form of Todd Elwood. 3-2 count, 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. Dodgers leading 10-9. Here's the payoff pitch. Grounded back up the middle. Coming over is James. Now Ortiz has it. Throw to first. Not in time. Infield single for Todd Elwood. Advancing to third base is Nadeau. And the Aces are still alive as the lineup will flip over. Max Schumann to the plate.
Yeah, at this point, you can't really worry about the runner at third base. That runner at first is absolutely everything. So if he takes off here, you got to try and get him, but you got to make sure the throw is good. Whatever you do at second base, if that guy takes off for second, knock it down. You don't care if that runner at third scores. You just got to either get the runner at first or make sure he doesn't get past second base.
So Max Schumann versus A.J. Korsinski, who comes set with runners on the corners. First pitch, swinging a foul tip, or did he not get a piece of that? He did not get a piece of that ball. It was a nasty curveball from Korsinski that didn't hit the bat. Almost did, but it ended up in the dirt, got away from Wolanski. And the tough part for the Dodgers is the runner at first, Elwood, moves up to second on the wild pitch. So now both runners in scoring position, and most importantly, that tying run stands on second base. Good speed in Elwood. He could score on a single here that would possibly tie the game from the right-handed hitting Max Schumann. Although he does have an RBI on the day, he is 0 for 5. Korsinski set the 1-0. That's in the dirt, and that gets back to the backstop. Both runners will advance. Coming home to score from third base, right there is the pinch runner Nadeau, and going to third is Elwood, and now the tying run stands just 90 feet away. Not what the Dodgers were looking for coming into the top of this ninth inning. And now the count is even. It's 1-1 against the right-handed hitting Schumann. Out of Eastern Michigan University, as is the catcher Alex Wilansky, who a couple balls have gotten by him here in this ninth inning. Korsinski set. Here's the 1-1. Fastball popped high into the air down the first base line. Coker over towards the coaching box, settles under it, makes the catch, and the Dodgers hold on to win it. They give up 2 in the top of the ninth, but the Aces needed 3. A.J. Korsinski comes in, gets the final out, and gets the save as the Baltimore Dodgers improve to 12-17 on the season. Rob, they win it 10-9 in a very tight game, but a big win for the Dodgers.
Yeah, how's your heart? Because it's mine's not good right now. That was one of the more nerve-wracking games that we'll have here at the at Joe Cannon Stadium as the Dodgers pull this one out very late. They scored 10 runs in the combined in the second and third innings, and they just hold on. Just at the very end, they win this one by a score of 10-9. A.J. Korsinski is going to end up with the saves. John Sikowski most likely will get the victory. And we'll be back with a little bit of a quick wrap-up after this. Connor Newcomb's on his way down. He's going to get one of the players for us, and you'll get to hear from one of the stars of the game following this. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. All right, Rob Stadnick back with you at Joe Cannon Stadium. Connor Newcomb down on the field. He's got Joey Ortiz for an interview. Joey Ortiz had a heck of a ball game here today. 4 hits, drove in 3 runs. He had a hustle double in the 6th. And our very own Connor Newcomb is with Joey Ortiz. Well, we'll get to Connor in just a second. Looks like we're having a bit of a difficulty here. And
Come on, Rob. Connor Newcomb.
All right, so apparently technical difficulties. We've got A.J. Korsinski down there, and the thing was paired up. Our wireless mic was paired up the entire time, and all of a sudden it just goes out. I heard Connor for a minute down there. That's the second time this has happened to him. I feel so bad that this has happened to him twice, but the Dodgers win, which is a good thing. They improved to 12-17 on the season, and well, they're going to get into a playoff spot, or at least tie up for a playoff spot as John Sikowski comes in, gets the win. Casey Gast getting the coming in, getting the start. Didn't go the full 5, so he's not going to get with the win. John Sikowski is going to end up with the win. A.J. Korsinski is going to get the save. Sheehan is going to be saddled with the loss for the Alexandria Aces. They fall to a 21-6 record. That's going to do it for us here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Once again, I have to apologize to Connor Newcomb because he's been getting the raw end of the deal with these post-game interviews. But the Dodgers win this one here by a score of 10-9 at Joe Cannon Stadium. Thank you for watching, and our next game is going to be 5 o'clock.